it doesn't have a great meaning. Number two, I only probably like it because I'm not people who get Murphy. Is that a reason to name it? Three, the meaning of it is always religious. It means all the sense of there is an urgent definition. And you capture it. And so I was just talking about the race culture again. And she was telling me a story about her best friend has Killian and her curse, and they were mocking him for the
You know which one of us is on first?
I do, and it's not you. No, it's a time. I literally asked Paul when I come in because sometimes it depends on the timing. So wherever she is, she needs to go on first. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Save the best to last.
That's what I'm always looking for.
Good for you. Good for you. No news now. I heard you got engaged. 2019. I'm fucking telling you, I've been laughing about that to myself regularly since. Fucking regularly, talking about, you know, captioning myself how little fucking I'm connected to the world at times. And you got engaged 5 years ago and I didn't fucking know.
Ashley's a pop woman, she's not even here.
Not even here? Jesus Christ.
Fairly off now.
That's fairly serious fucking that's a big hump in the road.
Some of us have got very
Big
long.
hump in the road. How is she?
Yeah. She's teaching away. She's doing a master's at the moment, slowly killing her. But she's getting there.
Yeah, every master slowly kills everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never done one, but I've seen so many people go through it, and it is
Don't do it.
fucking torturous. Like.
It's awful.
There's a friend of mine in Dublin, can't think of his second name, Mark, he's a musician. He was in a band called the Joes in the 80s. They supported the Smiths. He's a professional musician all his life, really interesting guy. And he went to do, so they gave him, that sounds fucking harsh, no. He got a degree through Trinity on previous experience, you know, that kind of thing. Oh, the other one, okay. Sorry, what up? Sorry for boring you. Anyway, he did it. How many times you told me who's packing it? I lost it. There are many who would argue with that. Okay, ready to rock and roll? How are we doing, folks? We're ready to rock and roll. So, time for the Eminem impersonation. Can I have your attention, please? Can I have your attention, please? 2, not bad. The longest was 6. To do it 6 times one night, but there was an unruly crowd in from France that night, so. Isn't that right, Roxanne? You're very, very welcome to the 706th edition of Orville, the 46th hybrid edition of Orville, and the 8th first fortnight edition of Orville. I will be calling Stephen James Smith up in a minute to give you a little bit more information on the first fortnight festival. Just save me doing a little bit of research. But I was here the first year we did this. Is our 8th year, and the first year we connected with First Fortnight. I was here that night. Cormac Lally and Julie Gould were the guests. It's an incredible festival. Stephen will tell you a bit more about it. For those of you who don't know, the First Fortnight Festival revolves around the fact, not the idea, the fact that the first 2 weeks in January are the period of the year when suicides are at their highest. It is a really challenging period of time for people. I am one of those people. I was to MC here last year and I didn't make it. At 6 o'clock I had to cancel because I wasn't well enough up here. I just want to say thanks to Sue for stepping in at the last minute and doing a shit job. And I can say that to her because she's tonight for the first time wearing her Fire and Dust t-shirt that and she asked me for it 3 months ago, and I got brownie points tonight because I actually brought it with me eventually, having forgotten it twice. So yeah, you're very welcome. It is a night about mental health, so bring your poems about all the sad and terrible things that happened in your life, but bring the poems about the joy and happiness that came when you recovered from those terrible fucking tragic things in your life. I'll be say again. Oh, well, listen, hey, I'm not dictating how you read your fucking poems. You do what you want. I'll be reading a terribly sad one at some stage anyway, I'll tell you that. But I am glad to be here because today wasn't a great day for me. I was in bed today from 11:30 till 3 o'clock because it was one of those days where I lost the battle. I don't like the win and lose analogy, but I won yesterday and I won the day before, but I fucking lost today. But thank you to Nicholas Lehan. Nicholas, stand up there. He's all the way up from Waterford, look.
Hi, guys.
That man texted me this afternoon, said I'm on the way to Cork, and I said I'll go in and meet that man because I suggested it, so thank you for getting me out of bed.
Big effort for me to get going this morning as well.
There you go, so that's what we do, we lean on
We
each
had a lovely
other.
romantic dinner.
We're fucking relaxed this morning, Donna. It was more romantic for you than it was for me because I paid for it. Alright, enough shite, let's get on with it. Alright. So the night is broken into 4 sections for those of you who have not been here before. If you are a virgin, let us know. We have things that we do to you to, bring you in and milk you aboard. But they're all very pleasant. There's nothing in the least bit challenging about them. So the first part of the night is over because it was the poetry films, which were not streamed. They were on from 7 to 7:45. If you missed them, sure, what the fuck can we do? Tune in earlier the next time. We are now going to kick into the 5-word challenge, which I will explain in a second. We're then going to have guest poets who are going to read for 20 minutes each. It's a hybrid event. We're going to have Jeanann Verlee via the internet, and we're going to have the stunningly wonderful, amazing Lauren McNamara, who came all the way from Limerick to be with us tonight. That's another tenor round. Thank you very much. And the final section of the night is the open mic. Okay, and the open mic. Wait for it now. So it's the open mic for other people's poetry. All right, that's what it says here, Paul. Don't be. This is gospel here. What that means is you can read your own poetry. Complete contradiction. That's the fact. All right. So the 5-word challenge is a simple little competition where you get a chance to win a free pint from the bar, unless you're online, in which case you get a free pint from your own fridge, and a couple of free books, which you do get even if you're online. We'll post them out. We'll probably FedEx it with whatever the most expensive option is. We'll take that to make up for the fact you're not getting a free drink. But it works like this. I get 5 words from the audience. You then get 15 minutes or so to write a poem or a play or a novel or whatever the frig you think you want to write using those 5 words. And then we open up this space. You come up, you read it. The audience claps, whoops, does a few dances, twirls, all that kind of thing. And somehow I make a decision as to who the winner is, and that person takes away the extravagant gifts I've just outlined. It's like bully. You know, bully. Look what you could have won. Remember that? Look what you could have won. Here's a speedboat. You're not taking it home. Forget about it. So who wants to get... for those of you online, the words will be put into the chat box by Paul. So who wants to give me a word? Choir. Box. B-O-X. We have box online.
Style. Sparkle. Darkness.
Well, we got to 5 already. 12 is disqualified. It was number 6. And I forgot what came after style. Sparkle and darkness. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now, you could write 2 poems with them. You could definitely write a happy one, and you could definitely write a fucking sad one. So the 5 words are choir, as in a singing choir, box, style, sparkle, and darkness. You have approximately 15 minutes, which is exactly 15 minutes, starting from now to write a piece, and we'll talk to you in a few minutes. Thank you very much.
Somebody.
Has anybody got paper and pen?
Oh, no, sorry, we have.
There you
we're
go.
good.
All the way from Waterford. No paper and pens available in Waterford in the new year. Sold out over Christmas.
So much writing.
I tell you what, your poem better be brilliant. This is your 2-minute warning. Okay, folks, your time is up. Drop your pens immediately. Do not write anymore. Don't do it. You see anyone lifting a pen, I'll send Paul Casey, don't you? Behave yourself. Yeah. I think there's a co-write going on here in the corner, because there was a lot of whispering. So we'll have to check the rules. I'm not sure if co-writes are allowed. And not just, I mean, what's the word? There's 3 of them involved in it. Like, so that's 3 talented people writing one poem. We're all fucked, like. There's no way. Well, hey, we'll have none of that filthy talk. None of that filthy talk. Put your mind, put that filthy. You're disqualified, nothing to do with me. I'm only passing on the ad. Okay, my apologies.
Suits me.
Suits you, happy days. Okay, I was just about to say no matter how shit your poem is, come up and read it. Not to you, it's specifically to everybody. That kind of kills me off, doesn't it? Okay, so we're now at the point of the night. If you want to get in online, put your name into the chat box there and Paul let me know. So we're now at the point of the night where we ask you to share your poems. There's a prize on offer at the end of it. Not only is there a prize on offer at the end of it, we guarantee you 2 other things. You will get a round of applause as you come up to the mic, and you will get a round of applause when you're finished reading your poem. Guaranteed. We don't care how shit it is, you're going to get a round of applause when it's over. Let us be the decider of how shit it is. We all write and think, oh my God, what a load of rubbish. I've never written anything as bad as that in my whole life. You think that every day if you're me. If you've got a poem, we'd love to hear it. Who wants to kickstart? Wow, don't all rush at once.
We have Jeff online.
Jeff, good man, Jeff. We're going to start online.
Okay. There was a man with a little black box, secured with a mess of bolts and locks. He carried it in a mysterious smile. He carried it in a mysterious style, through darkness and light, with an odd little smile. And finally one day I said to the man, "Great heavens, my friend, we no longer can contain our curiosity. What's in the box? Is it valuable jewels or a pile of rocks? A birthday cake, a big loaf of bread, some valuable jewels, or Gwyneth Paltrow's head?" The man's eyes did sparkle with mischief and glee as he answered, "You have the gall to ask me what's in this box. Well, I'm sure no liar. I'm carrying the Mormon Tabernacle Choir, but shrunk down to fun size to sing for the ants and spiders in Ireland and houseflies in France. And if I'd had 17 minutes, there would have been a fun twist at the end where they have something much sillier in the box. But we're never going to know now. We're never going to know now. I got the 5 words. That's okay.
Thank you, Jeff. And thank you for taking me time to put your pen down after 15 minutes that seriously. Most people in this room have taken 18 or 19 minutes. So some of them still writing as we speak. I'm going to have to up the ante, obviously, because nobody wants to come up. So I'll tell you what, round of applause on the way up, round of applause on the way down, and I'll even adjust the microphone to your height if you come and read a poem. You can't do any better now. Go on, Roxanne. Go on. You.
Happy New Year to everyone if I haven't said it. Memories stay in boxes along the roads of my thoughts. Small ones wrapped in shiny papers like Christmas presents filled with grief. Time reduces their size little by little as long as I forgive myself. Big ones of laughter, compliment, achievement, projects, gratitude, and more recently, the shining star in a January sky, omen of new promises and hope, a sparkle in the darkness up above. The sky has some style, no matter the seasons. The kings of past ages, as Mufasa said. My great-grandmother, my grandmothers, my grandfather, a choir of love to guide me day after day. Health and peace of mind for New Year's. We'll see what comes next.
Thanks, Roxanne. I refuse to keep getting up and down, so I'm just going to sit down. Come in your droves.
The stylus hits the groove, and I am dancing in the darkness to Bruce Springsteen, lifting my low mood, bringing back the sparkle into my world. My mother enters. The light cavitates the room. She shouts, "Keep that racket down, we're trying to watch the box." Okay. She retreats, leaving me to my lonely choir. I lower the volume. The record winds into Hungry Heart, slows the tempo, bridging the gap between rural Cork and New Jersey, heading down the coast to Baltimore.
Won't stop now.
Lower the better. A choir gathers in the box, dressed in style and sparkle, in darkness. Then the priest comes up, and the conductor comes and swings incense and waves the stick. The choir stands up, the congregation sits still. A hush falls, and with a boom and a crash, the organist bellows out notes and cymbals clash. Then the choir sings out with all their hearts. Music and incense fills the air, and the congregation stands up and joins in the singing. The sound of music gets louder and louder. Sparkles sparkle, and candles flicker in the darkness.
Alicia. Working title, Education. Your skirt was too short. I didn't like the sparkle of the stud in your nose. You were 10 minutes late because your dad was sick and your mom was at work, and you used words I didn't like. Justice, fairness, equality, youth voice. And I'm in charge. So get back in your box. I'll fold you in nicely and tuck your legs under you and sellotape you under her cardboard folds so that your neck cramps up. Sitting there in the darkness, you can do your homework. Learn off lines to puke into a page, pick at the skin around your nails, try to fall asleep with your head in your hands. Now you might be late for choir practice or the gym and have no time to read the novel that you had started to enjoy yesterday. That took your mind off your dad being sick. No, you'll be distracted by the tingling in your legs and the pinch of prickly pins and nasty needles, crushed breasts. There's very little daylight left once you've been put in the box. And I feel kind of bad, feeding this culture that makes you shrunken and angry, reminding me of the holes in my experience, all the joy and pleasure I haven't dared let in. But that's just how we do things here. I'll order some more boxes for the next bunch. I'm sorry, but that's just our style.
Liberation. The box around me measures just enough for me to turn my head. Left and right are the only directions allowed. Everything else is out of style. The darkness I sit in is the void, wedged off from rotting roots. My choir of angels has no song to sing. This winter has wiped the sparkles off my face. The warmth around me cannot take away my cold, frozen to the bone. Thank God for the fire. It heats my chest, rekindles my heartbeat. Down together, our motley crew blooms at the party, revels in different views, spinning our minds off their beaten tracks, conversations on going away, arriving, unstocking my thoughts. I allow myself to think the impossible. The box around me is bust. I return with fresh perspectives, breathe light into the dark.
We're going to get, yeah.
Carl. A single voice in the choir doesn't sound quite like the rest. It shrieks, it screams, it cries in jest. It hopes to climb out from the darkness. This voice isn't artful, it doesn't sparkle. It's not in the style to follow along, to go single file, go one by one. It doesn't fit into your box. It chooses instead to wear odd socks. Thank you.
Thanks, Carl. We're going to go online, partly because they're not beeping guilds. Like, odd socks. Life is way too short for matching socks, Carl. Everyone should wear odd socks. Clive, you ready?
I am.
Off you go.
Okay. People always put me in a box, labelled me as an idiot who could not write a serious poem if it was offered the world and all that sparkles. And they're right, of course. I'm not one to contribute to the relentless darkness, the choir of misery the world wants to sing to us. No. I have my own style. I write about German-speaking radiators, gun-toting penguins, mattresses made of elephant dung, and England winning the World Cup. Don't burden me with reality. I'm a lunatic. And to prove it, I'll punch myself in the bollocks. Ow! That hurt. I suppose my critics will now deride me for the lack of rhyme. Wankers. Anyway, that was a haiku for idiots.
Put it this way, if he was in a choir, he'd be the organ. You'd see him there outside the Modern when it was still open, pure boxy stance with the two hands tucked inside his waistband ankles in the pants tucked in too. That was the style. Laces on the Air Max tucked down the sides. He was a firework, a spark tucked away in the darkness of his eyes. Come on.
Elaine, don't put yourself in the dead-end box of I can't sing. Your whole body is a choir that sings in every imaginable style. And if you dare to leave the darkness, you might surprise yourself and sparkle.
Well, here we are. Piranhas in the global lake, increasingly warm. A species in a cannibalistic frenzy. Are we truly demons, fallen from the grace of the gods, gifts and all? Or are we mere monsters, victims of our own nature? Debates are heating up, much like the climate. Yet we sing in unison our dissonances, choirs in boxes meant for dissociative mediation. The sparkles of our brilliance, ground up, decomposed into electrical impulses. We were once mass-produced and exploited. We can now be counterfeited in any style. Any other forest will have to be sacrificed in the fire of hubris in an attempt to make the black mirrors come alive, or at least seemingly so. Maybe then we will have another heated argument whether this is true life or intelligence. Did our heart carry some divine light, humane warmth, or bottomless darkness?
If you open a box of darkness in the darkness inside the box will spill into the darkness outside the box, and a choir of unseeable angels with the voices of cats will meow over the darkest black metal and brush closer with their diamonds and feathers in the pressing dark, without so much as a sparkle, but with buzzing guitars and bells and audible style.
I got a corny poem. Sorry about this in advance, but I think I have to say to myself and anyone else that needs the darkness, sorry, the light in the darkness. There's a sparkle in your step. Don't stop the tap dance, even if anxiety plays tricks in the darkness. Click and clap, the stage and style, you own it. Don't box yourself in. Be unlabeled. Be unconventional. Be free. Be you. Be a you tree. It's probably the best quote in the poem. There's a sparkle in your step. Spin like seasons. Spin like Earth's axis. Spin like stars. Spin like ancient fairy forts. There's a sparkle in your step, and when you stop the dance, and there's blisters on your feet, they will come, outbound, extraterrestrial, the wear and the tear. It's only the silence in the choir that makes the song, the fate in your heart, the fate that you're doing just right. Jeanann.
Thanks, Philip. We're going to go online for Pam Campbell. Are you there, Pam?
I am. Okay, this one's dark. So be prepared. She wore a clean shirt every day, not that anyone noticed. She only went out at night when the darkness muted all shades of color and style, and clean held no trace of the sparkle once held in shared breath. This night was different. She didn't go out. She opened the window wide and lingered in the notes of the church choirs. All is calm. She was tired. She opened the brown rectangular box, took the razor out, and dropped the blade cold and light in her hand. She knew what to do. Her mother had done it decades ago. But just as she touched blade to skin, a wind blew the choir's lingering notes. Breath of heaven, hold me together. And in the quiet that followed, an old man on the street below called her name and stayed her hand yet another day.
Sorry for this now, but chatting to stand has clouded my mind, like, but I'll give you something anyway.
Right, I've no idea what's fucking going on here at the moment.
Can I go?
just know this is the latest entry in the 5-word poetry challenge. I have no idea what else is happening. Thank you.
How is? We were out for a night to escape the darkness. He wouldn't stop talking about Phil Babb and Steve Hartness. 36 now, well past his prime, but he wouldn't stop reliving scoring from the halfway line. A choir of Arsenal fans sculled by, chanting about Arsene Wenger, and he started shouting, "You're only pretenders." All style and sparkle, our friend Dave, this is true by the way, but I always had to remind him how to behave. I'll take all the fuckers, I'm as strong as an ox. I'll go away by, calm down and get back in your box. There we go.
Yeah.
How we doing, guys? What's the crack? Starry night, sparkling darkness, cosmic choir. If he's there, upstairs, give him a right box. And Welser style.
I'm not that small at all.
I know that.
I'm a big guy. Cheers. I went all religious on it. The choir sings, the candle flames flicker to the heater. Outside the night heaves on the church frame, voices trembling against the weight of their own darkness. Clothed in psalms, styled in paintings, for a moment shining, sparkling, inside a wooden box, opening a gateway to the heavens. And everything is all right again, and everything is okay, finally. Everything is the way it's meant to be.
There's a big fella on the way, watch.
You want me to elbow? An absolutely scintillating move. Retrieved the ball near our own corner flag, played a 1-2 with the full back to get us out, popped it into the 6, type of fiend who could put a ball on a dinner plate for you. Threaded a little one through their 2 CDMs and I drove at the back 4. Clipped it into the corner for Reese, tricky little winger in sparkling form. Rolled the ball through the full-back's legs and got to the byline, whipped it low and hard at the front post. Defender makes what would have been a goal-saving challenge, only for yours truly arriving late at the edge of the box to take the breaking ball in the half-volley, bottom corner, back at net, Tommy Burns style. Cupped the ears and slid to the corner to listen to the choir sing into the darkness, let the people sing.
We went online again. Adiola, are you there?
Hey, yeah, long time, feeling rusty. Anyway, sometimes in the darkness and coldness in the middle of winter, it becomes hard to keep the joy glowing. Broke and knowing that the next payday is several weeks away, well, at least there's company. To forget our worries, we start to sing songs from our memories, choir-like style, nostalgic sparkle, like accessories gathered from years, shared with peers, beers, perhaps listening ears, blurs and hums from missing words, sat by the box that tunes in and out, physical radios. Do you remember those?
Christmas Day and I alone in her house, mass on the box, the full choir today. Granny in her own world, maybe she'll watch a bit of Toy Story next. It's the first year of distance, of missing, and the dining room cloaked in darkness. The first year her Christmas glasses won't meet the Christmas tablecloth, Christmas runners, Christmas pudding, no nattering. Toy Story she likes, giggling, not alone. It ends and I realise I forgot about her glasses. Laughed regardless, that's Granny. I've always liked her style.
My name's Catherine. It's called Special Delivery. I ordered my choir boy on Amazon and he took ages to come. But when he did, the box was so big, but he was so small. So I fingerprinted the bejesus from his sparkle and handcuffed him in true NCIS style. When I activated his voice box, he accused me of being a Kathy Bates. But I replied, no, baby, no. I am just the darkness between the stars.
"21 entrants so far." This is the usual. This is like a frigging tradition at this stage, right? Somebody down there has one, and they'll sit and think, I won't take it. And then what? This is what happens subconsciously. Think, you know what? I'll fucking wait until he begs me, and then they come up with it. It's not always Mona, but it's Mona tonight.
I only came up to stop you giving out.
I'm sorry, but you're too late.
And you know,
That's Jeffrey Dupont, for God's sake.
even with the glasses, it doesn't look any better. But you asked for it. You can drape yourself in sparkles. You can preen and pose with no VPL. You can swing that fox fur around your creamy, shapy shoulders. You can bring the house to tears with your choir solo of Un Belle Dee from Madame Butterfly. But you're a soul lost in darkness, striving for the unattainable, wasting your time if you ain't got style.
Thanks, Mona. That wasn't shite, in fairness to you. It wasn't. It was definitely a notch or two above shite, without a doubt. Is there anybody else who wants to take on the challenge? Would be number 23, or are we actually finished? No co-written poems being entered tonight? No? Okay. Yeah, so she believed you when you said she was disqualified. I'd have ignored you myself. No, I'm glad that I'm not judging that competition. As it was Can I just say that the football analogies are a little bit old? I mean, does anybody in the room know who fucking Tommy Barnes is like? I mean, I'm 59 years of age and I vaguely know who fucking Tommy Barnes is. Kieran, you're way too young. You're way too young to import people like you. And as for dragging Arsene Wenger back into the room, I mean, come on, lads, that was the 90s. It's fucking old hat stuff. Anyway, great stuff. Loads of great poems. Elaine, I loved your last night. And there was a whole load of other ones that, you know, were impressive, shall we say. No, that's my way of letting you know you're not fucking winning, okay? But it was impressive. I have to say, Jeff really came out like a bullet, didn't he? Brilliant, brilliant stuff. And then, to be fair, Carl was winning for a long, long fucking time. And then somebody talked about a choir boy. Catherine Rowe. See, this is it now. Catherine's one of those people. She wants her name announced on the microphone, otherwise she's not reading her poem again. Catherine Ronan is the winner of the 5-word challenge. Enough!
And I haven't been number 21 for a long time, so I'll take that. Woohoo! Special delivery. I ordered my choir boy on Amazon, and he took ages to come. But when he did, the box was so big and he was so small. So I fingerprinted the bejesus from his sparkle and handcuffed him in true NCIS style. When I activated his voice box, he accused me of being a Kathy Bates, but I replied, "No, baby, no. I am just the darkness between stars."
Congratulations, Catherine. A couple of books and a free pint for you. And, you know, thanks for reminding us that there is no censorship in Ireland anymore. That wouldn't have fucking cut it in the 60s or 70s, would it? What's his name? McDade up in Dublin would have been having a cut. Oh, you get down there to cock and throw them all out. No, we're at the end of the first part of the night. We'll be back for the second part of the night in 10 minutes. And it's 10 minutes. It's not an Irish 10 minutes. It's going to be fucking 10 minutes because I'm in that kind of fucking mood tonight. I hauled myself out of fucking bed to get in here. She can fucking be back in 10 minutes, alright? See you in a bit. Oh, and the guest poets are next, just in case in case you don't know what's actually happening. Give them a round of applause. Oh, and the open mic list is available as well if you want to put yourself on for the last section of the night. We can do that now. There's two of those. It could be. Is it two of them, Paul, or all of them? Is it all of them or two of them? All of them. There you go. Happy fucking days.
Excellent. Oh yes, very good. Sebastian.
That'll keep you busy.
Can I tell you?
How's the fall?
Very good. Very,
Looking well.
Thank you.
Nothing strange?
No,
Apart
I
from the
take.
quiet one?
I take.
Not for weeks, but at the end of the golden message, and I'll tell you. But it was before Christmas, like.
Yeah, sorry, I thought you were taking a photo of me. I thought you wanted me to pose for photograph. Some chance, huh?
What it says. Control sodium and so 2 for keyboard this time, is what she
You don't want to hide it. As long as it's not on the top of his
You should not start
And then it's like, no, I did, and it's all over the
I know that, John. We're due to start now again, aren't we? Huh? We're due to start now again. I'll let him know. Okay guys, we're going to kickstart the third part of the night there when you're ready. When you're ready translates into when you stop talking. Catherine Ronan. Okay folks, so I said at the start of the night that this is the 8th Ovale edition that is partnered with the First Fortnight Festival. First Fortnight Festival is in its 14th year. I was meant to do this at the start of the night, but I got sidetracked in my brain. Stephen James Smith, a poet from Dublin and who's well known to the audience in Cork, has been involved with the First Fortnight since its inception. Am I correct in saying that, Stephen? Right from the very start? Okay. So, Stephen is going to tell you more about the First Fortnight Festival, including the fact that he's been involved in since its inception. A warm welcome, Stephen James.
Thank you.
Thanks, Stan, and fair play to you for doing this for 18 years. That's just an incredible commitment. So it is. So First Fortnight has been going for 14 years, and I've been volunteering for 13 of those years. It's a mental health arts festival. It's a mental health arts festival that takes place the first 2 weeks of January. As Stan said earlier on, it tends to be the most difficult time of year for a lot of people. It was originally founded by two friends of mine from Tala. Unfortunately, my friend, one of his brother committed suicide, and my other friend self-harmed, and they put on a gig just to kind of lift people's spirits, raise some money for a charitable cause, and that went so well. They kept on doing it, and this year there's 69 events in 14 counties across the island of Ireland. This is probably the 8th poetry event, I guess, in the festival program this year. They have loads of other things going on, from gigs, from theatre, discussions, all sorts of stuff. It's pretty amazing. This is the festival program. You'll find more on firstfortnight.ie. I think this is the only event in Cork this year, as it happens, but there have been many events taking place in Cork throughout the 14 years of the festival. What else have I got to say? I volunteer with it because I have had my own issues with my mental health in the past, and I probably will again in future, to be fair. And poetry is a creative outlet for me, and I'd imagine a lot of you feel a sense of community here tonight. I hope you do. Well, I've been coming to Ovale for several of those 18 years. I've been here probably at least 10 times, and there's always a great sense of camaraderie here in the audience, and that creative outlet, it gives you a sense of catharsis. There's a catharsis within that, so I hope you all feel that as well, and that's why they thought through the creative arts they would help to reduce the stigma around mental health. They don't just do a 2 weeks festival, although it's actually beyond the 2 weeks now as well. They also provide creative arts therapy for people that are at risk or are homeless. And they've also now worked with young people for that as well. I think there's 4 centres around the island. And not only that, there's a sister project called Mining Creative Minds. So this is open to anybody involved in the creative arts sector. So if you need there's free therapy sessions there. They also offer mentorship. They offer advice around finance, all sorts of different things, and that's free. So check out firstfortnight.ie. Check out Mining Creative Minds, and what else have I got to say? That's kind of it. But I just wanted to show off my t-shirt as well. So I ran the marathon for them in 2016, and amazingly I haven't done it since, and I really need to do it again because I put on about 20 kilos since then. But they made this t-shirt and it still kind of fits, but given the night it's in it, if you're a Yeats fan, you might like the back of the t-shirt that they made for me.
Oh, nice.
Just a silly thing, but suck the belly in. But anyway, enjoy the rest of your night. Thanks so much to Stan for being a great member of the team and volunteering, and for everybody. And it's great to hear Lauren as well and the other guest poet. And Lauren actually read alongside Buddy Wakefield a couple of years ago up at the show in Dublin, but 2 years ago. But anyway, that's enough from me. Thanks again for facilitating us, and have a good night. Take care. Look.
Thanks, Stephen. You're the second man I've ever seen get a round of applause for tying us back on the audience. First was Peter Hook, the bass player with New Order, which is a human being most of you won't know. You'd have to been around in the 80s. Now we're on to the third part. Just before I introduce the guests, we have a little bit of housekeeping to do. So Ovale aims to maintain a safe space for writers and all attendees. We subscribe to the Arts Council Equality, Human Rights and Diversity Policy, and we ask participants to report any offensive behaviour they may see or be enduring at Ovale to Ovale. There are just 3 weeks left to enter the final 12 5 Words International Poetry Competition, with the words changing tomorrow at 12 p.m. But the words, you get them early because you're here, and we love the fact that you actually turned up. So the words for this week are feather, submerge, seek, drift and shore. If you want me to repeat them, talk to me afterwards. This year's judge is Lauren O'Donovan. And you could be the winner of the 12th competition, but it's the final one as well, as things are changing with Ovale, as you probably know. If you would like any of your 5-word challenge poems, whether you won or not, written at Ovale since April of last year, to be considered for inclusion in the 5 Words Volume 18, you can email them to submissions@ovale.ie, that's submissions@ovale.ie. And you know, this might well be the last 5 words ever, so it would be nice to have your poem included there. We hope it won't be, but you never know. Please be aware that this event is recorded and will be available to revisit as an MP3 podcast and on video via Ovale's website, social media, and Vimeo channels. If you are contributing and you would prefer your piece not to be broadcast, please do let us know, and we will ensure we will decapitate you from the final product. Yeah. On the Monday, the 10th of February, Ovale's guests are 7 MA Creative Writing students from UCC, and a very special guest called Pam Campbell. We'd like to thank everyone who's kindly offered donations. There is a donation jar under the horse's head on the bar there. At least you might start passing that around. Blank checks are welcome, coins are welcome, but not very welcome. Notes are very, very welcome. And if you're online and you can't get at the horse's head, we would not want you to feel excluded. So go to PayPal and you can make a donation there. Thank you very much. Last thing is next Saturday, the 18th of January at 11 o'clock in the Rory Gallagher Music Library, which is in the City Library on the Grand Parade. There will be the second edition of a new event called Saturday Sing that I'm, fancy word, curating with the City Library. The guests this month will be Fergus Costello and Shauna Lee Lynch, two of our own. If you're around at 11 o'clock on Saturday and you want to drop in and pass an hour listening to people waffling on poetry, which is obviously something you enjoy, you wouldn't be here otherwise, we'd love to see you. And now, to our guest poets, well, to our first guest poet. Our first guest poet is going to be online as Jeanann Verlee. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing that correctly. She is the author of 3 books: Pray, Black Lawrence Press 2018, finalist for the Benjamin Saltman Award, Said the Manic to the Muse, what a title, Right Bloody Publishing 2015, and Racing Hummingbirds 2010, which was the winner of the Independent Publishers Awards. She has been awarded a National Endowment for the Arts Poetry Fellowship, the Third Coast Poetry Prize, and the Sandy Crimmins National Prize. Her poems and essays are featured in numerous journals, including the Academy of American Poets, Adroit, BuzzFeed, Muzzle, and Thrush. She has served as editor for several publications, including Winter Tangerine Review, Union State Magazine, and FSTN, Performance of Poets of New York City. She has performed for hundreds of programs, university and conferences, including PBS's Brief But Spectacular, PEN America, Lincoln Center for the Performing Arts, the New York City Poetry Festival, Word by Word, Split This Rock, the Juilliard School, Princeton, Yale, and more. Verlee is also an editor and a writing coach. I mean, she's not only the least bit busy, in fairness to her. She's also an editor and a writing coach, working across genres, and has edited several award-winning books. She's facilitated workshops remotely and at schools, theatres, libraries, bookstores, and dive bars. Yay for the dive bars across North America. She collects tattoos and kisses Rottweilers. She believes in you. I should have just read that bit, shouldn't I? I should have just read the whole bio. Should have said she collects tattoos and kisses Rottweilers. She believes in you. You can find her at johnverlee.com. Huge Cork, warm welcome to
Thank you so much. Good evening. This has been a blast. I've never done a show like this from so far away. So thank you for having me. Yeah, my name is Jeanann. I'm going to share some poems, and then I'm going to sit back and enjoy Lauren and the open mic with all of you. I will just a little intro. I am on the other side of the Zoom screen, but this is live, and I'm 100% real human being. I'm not AI. I'm not a hologram. I'm going to give you all the energy I have, and if that moves you to clap or gasp or cheer or cry, go for it. We're going to pretend that we're all in the same room at the same time. In the spirit of this event, I will be sharing work that focuses a lot on mental health and trauma. And so there's my content warning. If you need to take care of yourself, please do so. And with that, let's go on this journey together. This first poem is titled Good Girl. Every morning, I sit at the kitchen table over a tall glass of water, swallowing pills, so my hands won't shake, so my heart won't race, so my face won't thaw, so my blood won't mold, so the voices won't scream, so I don't reach for knives, so I keep out of the oven, so I eat every morsel, so the wine goes bitter, so I remember the laundry, So I remember to call. So I remember the name of each pill. So I remember the name of each sickness. So I keep my hands inside my hands so the city won't rattle. So I don't weep on the bus. So I don't wander the guardrail. So the flashbacks go quiet. So the insomnia sleeps. So I don't jump at car horns. So I don't jump at cat calls. So I don't jump a bridge. So I don't twitch. So I don't riot. So I don't slit a strange man's throat. I live with bipolar disorder, and this next piece is a persona poem that's written in the voice of my own mania, speaking to me. This is titled The Mania Speaks. You clumsy bootlegger, little daffodil, I watered you with an ocean and you plucked one little vein, downed a couple of bottles of pills and got yourself carted off to the ER. I gifted you the will of gunpowder, a matchstick tongue, and all you managed was a shredded sweater and a police warning? You should be legend by now. Girl in an orange jumpsuit, a headline. I built you from the purest napalm, fed you wine and bourbon, preened you in the dark, hammered lullabies into your thin skull. I painted the walls, I wrote the poems, I shook your goddamn boots. Now you want out? Think you'll wrestle me out of you with prescriptions, a good man's good love, and some breathing exercises? You think I can't tame that? I always come home, always. Ravenous, loaded. You know better than anybody. I'm bigger than God. This next poem, just a little preface, it's dated. I wrote it when I was 36 and I am no longer 36. That's going to be clear. This is titled The Session. Say alone 40 times, paired with the desert. Say it. Alone, alone, alone. Say it plain. Say it outright. Say the words plain. She says, alone. No, don't get poetic. Say I. Say me. Say I am alone. Say your age, she says. 36, I say. Say it. I am 36. Own it. I am alone. I am 36. She says, tell me about the children. Don't use metaphor. I say, blue eyes. It's only a guess. We have, not we, she corrects. I have blue eyes. It's only a guess. Tell me about the children. There are hundreds, I say. Punch myself in the stomach. Hundreds. She says, no, tell me about your children. Tell you about the dead? No, she says, no one died. Say it clear. Stop the poetry. I say, the children in our, no, my future are hard marbles sunk to the bottom of a fish tank. No, there is no fish tank. There are no marbles. She is growing irritable. I say, there are no children. There. I stop talking. She asks more questions. I am mute. I am thinking of my sheets, thinking of my molding bathtub and how much blood could fill it. I think of a poem written by a friend about a tub full of teeth. I think about teeth falling out of my face, about my face opened by a bullet's exit. She asks what I am thinking about. I say, peanut butter. What about peanut butter? I say, I'm lying. She says, why? I say, there are no children. Never. I punch myself in the stomach. She says, stop, or I will restrain you. I dig my nails into the armrest. Don't damage the furniture, she says. I say, peanut butter. She says, the session is over. There is no she. It's just a subway car and a Tuesday morning where the fluorescent lights are flickering so loud it almost drowns out the voices telling me that I will die today. No one ever believes this. It's another one. Thank you. This is in the same vein. This is titled Tracing Wrist Scars. I used to keep exquisite potted plants. Now, pots of dirt. My friend Megan keeps pots of dirt. One with a ceramic hand creeping out, another a foot. Funny, the things we covet. I only learned to begin wanting again recently. I don't know where to place my wants, how to justify them, much less actually obtain. It isn't fair to want things after trying to give everything away. The wine isn't fair, overpriced penne, paycheck, new bootlaces, a night out for music or poetry or beer, this guilt, wanting a day of sun or even rain, things that racket and wail, things that shimmy or sit quietly on a windowsill. Shameful, I think, to covet a tattoo or a philosophical conversation, a book, a trinket, a new poem, a pulse. Thank you. I'm going to shift gears a little bit and look at various ways that trauma informs our mental health. I was primarily raised by my mother, who, though she was not diagnosed, I know to have struggled with psychological issues. And so here's some mommy issues poems. This first is titled Ode to My Mother's Backhand. I loved as a girl to help paint your nails, their perfect almond curve. Longed for the same smooth knuckles. I mimicked the ritual of cream. I cannot forget the heavy, honeyed scent you left behind. My elbows, shoulders, the oily film remaining after grab and shove, effortlessly softening the cruelty of any mood. Oh, dainty left, clattering with hand-me-down gold, how I coveted your pitch, your reel, the sharp bite of your angles. Sensuous fingering of a cigarette, rocks glass, studied you, wrist deep in the raw mash of meat, egg, ketchup, watered bread. The whole hand crush of canned tomatoes, petite fork whisk of powdered sugar into milk. Eucalyptus rub on my congested chest, your gentle swipe of tears, the intricate fold and knotting of braids. How, I'm sure, some part of me remembers your lift of breast to my infant mouth, calm stroke of my hairless scalp, the bath, the swaddling after. Such precision, even in beer-battered rage to spin my jaw in whichever direction called. The hot red blossoms you lured to my cheeks, shrill crash of a vase knocked from its shelf, bowl of cereal struck from my hands, blood tooth launched skyward. Oh, commander of attention, how I would seize at your slow rise from across the room. Such power, a noiseless siren wailing. I will come for you, child. In the same vein, Hereditary. I have a twitch sometimes. I keep my left eye open in my sleep. That hole in the bathroom door was not me. The scar on my forearm, an accident. Burst vessel in my eye, the blackened palms, tire marks on I-25, not me. The patch of scalp, doorknob through a bedroom wall, knife wound across the cabinet space, the 6th time we replaced a set of wine glasses, TV hurled like a dodgeball, the cell phone torn in half. I am not crazy. This is just Thursday. I live alone, pay rent and taxes. I cook and fold laundry. There are no monsters here. I don't see ghosts. I did not sleep with a razor in my teeth last night. I do not keep count of my 16-year pill collection. I haven't had a drink in 43 hours. I have 4 alarm clocks and too many shoes. This morning, I ripped open a tin can with my own hands, cursed a man at the bagel cart one time. I said, "Ma, calm down." And she slapped me so hard, I forgot her name. Awesome. I hope everyone out there is doing great. Sorry to the moms who do their very damn best to do it right. I know that is a nearly impossible ask. So power and love to all the moms out there. We're going to switch gears. The title of this piece is, in case we hadn't gotten dark enough, I'm just going to get darker. So stay with me. The title of this piece is For the Woman Who Loved the Predator More Than His Prey. It opens with an epigraph by poet Marty McConnell. She writes, I wanted to sing you a curse song. I would wish on you the knowing with your own good body, but I am incapable. You are made of flesh and nerve and thought, of heart and love and wonder and grief, as I am. Let me wish for you this, a deep sleep. Trust in the man at your back who is promised sanctuary. In you are almost whole in the clumsy wonder, is he the one? His mouth is filled with the world and he is giving it all to you and you believe. I will not wish for you the bruise, leap in the throat, shriek, the shock and scramble in your own flowered sheets, his glazed eyes, the sudden property you have become. You, a scatter of dust beneath a heave of muscle, he culls your pleas into a storm of thrust, grunt, drool. You here cannot move. You are nothing more than your wit and your lungs, and neither seem enough. You are the torn cotton, wrenched thigh, the perfect stone-colored fingerprints. You are the scrub and the sob, all his countless hands. I do not wish you become the night terrors, the flashbacks, the grief and grief and grief, insomnia, delusion, the disbelief, the holy, 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 holy wreck, the awe and burn. I do not wish you stay. Stay and forgive. I do not wish you forgiveness. I do not wish you cordial, polite. I do not wish you his manipulations or the mind's trickery. I will never wish you liar, as you have christened me. I do not wish you answer why or how or show me evidence. I do not wish you silence, shame, whiskey, box cutter, Xanax. I do not wish you erase. I do not wish you anything to erase. I do not wish you this. No. No. I will never wish you this. This next poem looks at hypervigilance. It's titled Meditation on a Poem About Glass Embedded in the Scalp After a Car Accident. It opens with an epigraph by poet Luke Bowerlin, who writes, You live through all of it, the impact, the moment absorbed in the body. The poet writes about shards, how his body kept them. Skin grew over and eventually released the bits back into the world, something foreign and useless. And I am familiar with the effect, having picked the itchy glass of a Nissan from my own elbow as a child, a full year after the Lincoln sped head-on into our lane. And it isn't very different, or different at all, from how I wake at 3:06 a.m. every day. Though it has been over 3 years and his shadow still rides the length of my body as if it now belongs to me. How my skin took in and grew over his violence, and now spits it back out in small fragments each time a man stands too close to me on the subway. Thank you very much. I have one more poem, but I want to thank you for your energy, your time, your generosity, your poems. I cannot wait to hear you, Lauren, and all of the open micers. This is going to be a great night. Paul, thank you for organizing. Thank you, Stan, for everything. I'm going to close on a much more tender note. We're going to land on a love poem, which I write very few of, so let's go with it. This opens with an epigraph by singer-songwriter Jeanette Napolitano. She writes, or sings, I guess. I've waited so long for you to be here. Can I have a souvenir so I remember that I was here? This poem is titled Lifespan of a Peanut. We kept each other's poems, most scrawled on coffee-stained napkins, hidden from the sight of other lovers for 26 years. We kept photographs and song lyrics and bits of broken jewelry and other trinkets locked away, literally in trunks or safes, a sacred, precious secret. He, for example, kept a peanut. Let me go back. I was 18. I loved him, and I wrote him a note. And in that note, I explained I was sad to have missed him when I stopped by his apartment unannounced on that particular sun-gold, sky-shimmer summer afternoon, and I hoped he might call me later, but since I was there and he was not, and since I had a bag of peanuts and he did not, I thought maybe to share the last half of the last peanut, that perhaps he might like to have it. So I wrote, P.S., here's half of a peanut. I don't remember writing this note, nor tucking into its folds one half of one peanut, but he does. He remembers. He showed me the note all these years later, grayed in the corner where the peanut bled its oil, staining the paper, and he showed me the peanut itself, dark and hardened with time. He showed these to me, and they are as real as my chipped toenail polish or the way dawn relentlessly breaks open the horizon each day. And yes, perhaps the act of giving my lover a peanut was trivial or lunacy, but he kept that goddamn peanut for 26 years, so he would remember I was there. And perhaps his choice to keep half of a peanut folded in paper, hidden in secrecy for more than a quarter century is also lunacy. But when he came back to me, lifetimes later to Brooklyn, 1,700 miles from where we met, it will not shock you to learn that I wrapped in a satin pouch one half of one peanut and laid that pouch on what would be his pillow to welcome him home. Finally home. That tiny half of that tiny peanut trying its clumsy best to say, I have waited so long for you to be here.
We're just going to pause there while people hand out boxes of tissues. For those of you who have a little tear in your eye at the end of that, thank you so much. That's Jeanann. She collects tattoos, she kisses Rottweilers, she reads great poetry, and please tell me that you run workshops on how to come up with unique and striking titles for poems. That alone, I know she's in there, but it's a habit for. Thanks so much. We have another round of applause, please. She's in there. Well, now we're going to come back into the room and we're going to, I'm going to introduce Lauren McNamara. I'm going to read the entire bio. I could actually introduce Lauren without having the bio in front of me because I know her since I'll get to it. Lauren McNamara is an actress, poet, playwright and essayist from Limerick. The past summer she performed at Glastonbury, Electric Picnic and launched her debut poetry collection, Quarter Life Crisis with Revival Press. Available at Limerick Writers Centre and available for the cut down price of €15 here tonight. On display, waiting for you to get your mucky hands on it. She has a PhD and an MA in English Literature from Mary Immaculate College, that's in Limerick. She has been published widely, Poetry Island, Routledge and many more, has featured on television and national radio, and is a two-time All-Ireland Slam runner-up and a two-time Munster Slam champion. I met Lauren first on one of the occasions she was a runner-up. She was actually third. It's a long story. We'll get into it later on. She has performed her plays Quarter Life Crisis 2018 at the Galway Spring Spoken Word Award and Hello, My Name is Single 2019. I was at it. I saw it. Limerick Fringe Spirit of the Fringe Award and in several cities around the world. She co-runs the first Wednesday series poetry event at the White House Bar in Limerick and delivers writing workshops in schools and university. She has given a guest performance and writing workshop at Columbia University in New York, where she also spent time studying. That's the bio. What it doesn't say is Laura McNamara is a wonderful poet and a lovely human being, and we're delighted to have you. Please welcome her.
Thank you very much, Dan. How you all doing? Good? Yeah? I always like to start every session just like that. And it's good, you know, at first Wednesday or first fortnight, everything we're talking about, nice to check in with people. Thanks, Dan. You're a lot nicer than I expected. I did technically come third, but there was joint winners.
Yeah. She was second.
Thank you so much, Paul, for having me. And first fortnight, I have a very, very soft place in my heart for Ovale. I have performed at a number of Munster Slam Championships in this very room. Not one, not two, but three. And I have won in this very room, not one, not two, not three, but 0 Munster Slam Championships right here. And I don't hold that at all against Ovale. Or Cork. No, I'm engaged to a Cork woman. I'm obligated to love Cork, so I do. It's fine. So to start us off, and I like starting off a lot of my poetry sessions, if you would join me for a very quick little meditation session. And if you don't like meditation, just humor me. It won't go on very long. If you do like meditation, just humor me. It won't go on very long. So just get everyone in the room. Take a second. Just take a deep breath in and out. And in and out. Now very slowly, just let the energy flow through you. I want you to slowly raise up your left hand, just kind of up to your midsection. Just like that, just kind of straight out. Be all good. And then very slowly, raise up your right hand up to your kind of midsection. This is where it gets a little bit complicated. So I just want you to try, take both of those hands and bang them together. Good job, good job. Some of you have done this before. Okay, now what we're going to do next is we're going to do that for again and again really, really fast. Okay, so when I count to 3, just take both of your hands. This is meditation. Bang them off each other as fast as you can. 3, 2, 1. Okay, okay. Now, there's one last bit left. This is when it gets really tough, but I believe in you. Has anyone ever heard of scream therapy? Okay, so it's pretty much just when you scream. So what we're going to do is going to bring all of this together. So when I count to 3, we're going to do the clapping and we're going to do the screaming. Just scream.
Really?
Really? 3, 2, 1. I needed that, thank you. Thanks to all those at home who joined in as well. Before we start, can I give a very big another round of applause to Jeanann? I'm still emotional about a fucking peanut, but she was amazing. So I'm going to do some poems because that's what Paul brought me here for. The first piece I want to do for you tonight is a poem that Stan once told me is his favourite poem that I wrote, and I have held on to that nice words very, very tightly because he doesn't say them too often. I'm being really mean, you're so nice. Okay. Sweat drips down your skin. You know you can't win. Heart beating out your chest. The worst has not come yet as the time draws near and you realize your worst fear, that it's here. It's time to meet their parents. Yeah, you know that feeling too. It's a scary rite of passage every couple must go through when the girl meets the mother who will love her more than she ever will, and the guy meets the dad who, let's be honest, he kinda wants to kill. So you better be the perfect person for their baby. 3 degrees, a great job, all your hair, no maybes. Catholic, but not too Catholic, you see. And a manager position and a 6-figure salary at 23. But you see, I thought all of this would be okay for me, because when I was younger, there was nothing more I wanted to be than a doctor. Yeah, a doctor. I wanted to break down and build, create and help fulfill dreams, to study the great mysteries, the human body, like what happens when we hear Shakespeare, or what goes through someone's head when they try and figure out anything James Joyce ever said. You see, I wanted nothing more than to be a distinguished doctor of English. Now, you could see her parents' hearts rise when I said doctor and fall just a little when I said English, but hey, the study of literature is important too. Like, you got drama and prose and poetry, and actually, I keep having this reoccurring dream, right? Where I'm out for a bite to eat, and a man begins choking, too many bread rolls between his cheeks, and someone screams, "We need a doctor!" And I scream, "I'm a doctor, everything will be all right." I run over, I grab his hand, and I say, "Do not go gentle into that good night." Old age should rave and burn at close of day, and everyone was, of course, okay. Now, personally, my meeting with our parents went well, and eventually I could tell that they accepted the prestige of my English degrees, and I told them, honestly, literally, that there's big money and steady career options in reading and writing poetry. Fuck, I hope didn't take me too seriously. Thank you very, very much. Maria, I'm very, very much delighted to be here. I kind of did do that poem off by heart, but I've been trying to read from the book more because I have a nice little book. It's called Quarter Life Crisis. It is for sale here. It is €15, but for one night only, you can get 2 copies for €30. No problem. Great offer, great offer. Same offer for those at home as well. And actually, as I see him down below, Stephen James Smith, you mentioned, who's a wonderful, wonderful person and poet. This cover photo was taken with the night of Buddy Wakefield 2 years ago today. As we talk about community, and I think just being there for each other a little bit, I can imagine with 18 years of Ovail, there's a lot of people in this room, and I know a lot of faces in this room of people who are just wonderful people, I think, who have brought small moments and big moments into our lives that have just made it a little bit better. And 2 years ago, I went up to see Buddy Wakefield that Stephen organised with First Fortnight. Buddy Wakefield, for anyone who doesn't know, is an American poet. He is one of my favourite poets of all time, possibly my favourite poet of all time. I was so happy just to get to go see him. I arrived in the door of the Workmen's Club in Dublin, and Stephen asked me if I wanted to open up for him. And it was a fantastic, wonderful, wonderful moment. Thank you so much, Stephen. And just thank you to everyone here for being a wonderful poetry community and for looking out for each other. Give yourselves a round of applause. I'm going to do silly ones. I'm getting too sloppy. Okay, this poem is a short one. It is called Road Frontage. Do you have road frontage? Asked Mary. First question she asked me on the date. I say, actually, I'm not a farmer. This seems to faze her. Have you no land then? Says she, looking like she's about to leave. No, but my dad's got a business, says me, that I work at part-time, you see. Selling what? Says she, accusatorily. Hardware, says me. Where? Says she. In the country, says me. Any siblings? Says she. I'm the eldest, says me. She. Eyes burning into me intensely. We sell animal feed too, says me, desperately. That'll do, says she. So as Stan mentioned there at the start, I got the very big honour, and I'm very, very privileged and feel very lucky to have gotten the chance to perform over in Glastonbury in England a couple of times. I just met some of the most amazing, friendly people, and it was just this incredible, incredible time. So after I did it in 2020, what year is it? A few years ago. I wanted to write a little bit about it. So this is very much a true story. At the end of the festival, I decided to just write this piece and try and capture some of kind of the experience of how I felt that weekend. So this poem is called The Day After Performing at Glastonbury. Everything hurts. My brain, my back, my feet, but I performed on a stage where legends are made, where poets profess the pains and pleasures of imperfect worlds. They critique and challenge, cherish what makes us, our ability to change. Paul McCartney headlined at 80, Billie Eilish became the youngest to do the same, and Kendrick Lamar blew us all away. Denise Chila shined in green and white, and Kay Tempest spoke of love, and those who have to fight a bit harder. And Olivia Rodrigo spoke of pain and the names of those who force women to travel further. A kazoo marching band roamed, as every imaginable costume and outfit and expression of creativity flowed through the fields of food and music and poetry and love. I lie now in a bed in a B&B waiting to fly home. It's 5 a.m. and my brain can no longer sleep without the sound of 4 different bass lines playing in bizarre union. I want to write now. I feel it in my aching bones and sunburned skin. The world has something left in it. It has a lot left in it. So that poem, an all true story, was called The Day After Performing at Glastonbury. Then I felt I had a little bit more to say. So again, this is all true. I have a follow-up poem. So the previous one was called The Day After Performing at Glastonbury. This poem is called The Day After Performing at Glastonbury. I have this one off by heart.
So do I.
The day after performing at Glastonbury. I have COVID. Fuck. I performed that in a thing in Limerick a few months ago called Festival in a Van, where they just have this like really cool van set up in the middle of the cities and you just perform. It's like a wonderful experience. But I performed that poem, and a friend of mine who was there told me afterwards that I was standing in this very open street in the middle of Limerick City with a very big like a mic with loads of big amps behind me, and I just kind of announced to the city the line, "I have COVID, fuck." And apparently as I did this, there was a group of people walking up the street behind me, and I said this, and they stopped, turned around, and walked away. And I'm like, poetry is dangerous, guys. So, the next piece I have for you here tonight is a poem called Between Breaths. I can see you in the maternity ward where the spectrum of life is at its most extreme. I can feel you, wrapping your rain-sized hands around my fingers, you learn to breathe. And we sit in awe, terrified you might forget. We take you home, the place where you first stand and dance and laugh, and where you learn to love chicken nuggets. And you constantly wonder why they share a name with your favourite funny-looking feathered farm animals. From the picture books we read at night. Me with a soft voice, and you with your mother's eyes. I can see you, going to school on your first day, the sky threatening but never breaking, barely holding back the rain, and the teachers have to bribe you away because you don't want to leave. Not because you're afraid, but because you see the fear in my eyes, and I'll say, just breathe. To you. But really, to me. And I'll fill up with pride as you go in and make friends by simply being yourself, and your introduction to independence becomes a tremendous success, and you become a teacher's dream because you are kind. I can see you, growing so fast, too fast. And you're nervous and tripping over words, and I say, baby, just breathe, as you proceed to come out to your lesbian parents as straight. And we will love you all the same, even though we won't understand this choice that you made. And you bring home a partner of the opposite sex, and initially we'll just pretend to be okay with it until we realise they make you smile. The way you used to smile when you were small, and you found the secrets of the world in the garden on a summer's eve, and then we learn to love them too for real. I can see you. Graduating from college, throwing your cap up in the air, knowing how hard you worked to get here, and me being amazed by what you've done. You take a breath and climb those steps to receive your license into adulthood, and I'm thankful for all the candles your grandmother lit. And then you're embarrassed because I keep telling your professors the story about the chicken nuggets. I can see you. Emigrating for work, because there will still not be a country for the young, and my heart will break and never truly mend, except briefly in the visits home at Christmas. And I can see you calling less and less as the kids and work and life take up more of your time, and you won't have a moment to breathe, but you'll still text once a week to say, I love you. I can see you. I can see all the things you could have been, and all the memories we would have shared, and all the joy and pain and heartbreak that I would have felt all the time, all at once. I can see us saying goodbye as our eyes meet, and we both try but fail to breathe. Thank you very much. Thanks, guys. This is a lot of fun. Again, I've been out of Vale probably about once every year and a half for the last, I say, 10 years at this point. And it's always just been such a wonderful experience. And I remember, I think I've been in kind of at some like spoken word poet slots a few times. But I remember Paul always telling me, like, we don't really book you for a featured slot until you have a book. So I finally have a book, and I'm really, really happy I got to do a featured slot while O'Vale is here. And thank you very much, Paul, for all your work over the years. Okay, I have 2 poems left, and I'm going to go through them because I'm blathering on a lot. So this piece is called Granny. Fizzling Granny in a fizzling room with the armchairs and a grand piano that still plays beautifully if you know which keys to use. Granny smiles, her eyes as young as ever, and she just keeps singing these old Irish songs. And she tries to get you to sing along, even though you don't know the words, but you just pretend, because, well, she's lost her hearing aids again, and she can't tell if you don't. But she's happy and carefree, and she just has fun, and she says the staff in a nursing home treat her well, and she lives now in her own world, and that's a place of music and splendour, and they take care of her, but she's come to realise she probably won't go home, but she says she's okay with that. And she asks how her husband is, and you say he's fine. You bring her a magazine, and she loves this, because her eyesight is better than yours, and she sees everything. She sees you, and tells you, you got so tall, and also a little fat. And she tells those around you that you're a good scholar in school and you'll become a teacher soon. And she gets presents on Mother's Day and Christmas Day and her birthday, and she tries to give them away because she doesn't want to have too many things. And she asks how her husband is, and you say he's fine. You bring in your girlfriend to meet her, and she smiles. Says she's pretty and asks when you're getting married, and you say, not for a while, and she laughs. When you turn, she confides to her that she thinks you'll both make beautiful brides. And to be fair, you are her oldest grandchild, and well, Granny's 93 and she just wants a party. She tells you it was a sad day seeing him in a hospital. It was difficult to see Grandad in a bed like that. She tells you it was tough, and you agree and say, I'm so sorry. And then you just shake your head because she hates to wear her hearing aids. And then she asks how her parents are. And you know to tell her they're fine, because the first time you didn't lie, you told her they passed away, and she asked when. And you said a long time ago. And she looks at you and asks, why didn't anyone tell me? And didn't even get to say goodbye. And then she asks what happened to her family home that she hasn't been to in over 40 years, and you say you don't know, and then you just shake your head because she can't hear you. And then she sings these old Irish songs and tries to get you to sing along. And she tells you, you gotta go now, because it's lunchtime and you're in the way. And she laughs and smiles, and you do too. Thank you all so much. Thank you so much. If anyone would like a book at any point, I'll be over here with Revolut or a little bit of change. And thank you all for having me, and go Vale.
Thanks, Lauren. I still remember the first time I heard both the one you opened with and closed with. I've never actually said that your Doctor poem is my favourite poem. I've said I love it. But thank you so much for doing it, and I'm never ever tired of hearing I say don't go forth, whatever that line is. It's just brilliant. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Can we have another massive round of applause for Lauren McNamara? She's really a grad here, Nicholas, because she did win the Munster Slam, but she had to go to Waterford to win it, because Cork was just kicking her in the teeth too often. The book is called Quarter Life Crisis. It's available for the knockdown price of €15, 2 for 30. I mean, Jesus, what a bargain. Unbelievable. And Lauren is here quite happily to take your grubby money from your grubby hands anytime between now and the end of the night. We're going to take a 10-minute break. We'll be back with the open mic. We've loads of slots still available on the open mic, including slots 1, 2, 3 and 4. What the fuck is going on? You're all very shy tonight. See you in 10 minutes.
Great job. Catherine wants a photograph.
She wants a photograph of you with her. She's gone slightly mad, is she? Yeah, a little bit fucking mad.
Just the right amount.
Yeah, just the right amount. Okay. In that case, we'll do the photograph. Hello, Rosette.
I've been cheeky as anything, and I just wedged myself in second because I have a bus to catch.
Yeah.
But I might not make it. We'll see what happens.
Somebody's going to turn first.
I wouldn't do that, like.
No, I can put you on if you want me to.
No.
Okay, all right.
I wouldn't jump in
no,
ahead of the train.
Okay,
Sounds
all right, no bother. Yeah, no. And what's the story with the image rights? I'll send you the contract. Yeah. Get my fucking image from nothing.
Get some of the international people behind us.
Just have one other person in the photograph.
Look at her again. Look at each other.
Hurry up, I won't be able to control myself if I stay in that position much longer. Be all over, I'll be fucking... I'll be done.
Gone into overdrive.
Gone into
Your emotions are bubbling over.
Oh, thank you, John.
Wake up. The box for Germany the whole time. One of the editors, Verlee, Nikki, curly white hair, very short hair. Yeah, okay, salt and pepper or very white hair? Like it, machine is in it, some holes in it, so you'll I've never met him in person.
How are you, Lauren? How's it going? Are you well? Great to see you. Yeah. Really enjoyed that. No, I'm always in everything. Thank you very much. For going for it, yeah. Sorry? The what? That's it. Yeah. I'm in Westwater, so it's not too far away. But love this stuff again. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. It's the welcome. Yeah. Keep on in trouble. Yeah. Fair play. Yeah. I'm in your place. Like, I'm good. Like, but I'm in your place creatively. It just happens like that. I'll just away from the it's kind of where am I going next? Like, but. Yeah, he is, And I got a text today, it was funny, because today was a big push to get up here. And Nicola, I don't even think you know them all, Nicola, Nicola's kind of she texted me out and said, I want to meet up with you on Thursday for like a mentoring one. So, out of nowhere. Yeah. Okay, I'm not looking forward to meeting him. I know what I'm going to bring him forward, he's a great guy, So I was telling you, stands so well. Like, there was a lot of stuff around me, a lot of momentum, and it was kind of clear, and now it's not. He was saying, like, the artist, you keep an eye on him, and you're like, oh, let's see, let's go find next time. So I'm kind of like, there's a lot of loss around there as well. So I'm here, and I'm writing every day, reading every day, so trying to keep it going, Sorry? 5 word poem, yeah, just grand. I don't know about the scratch, like, it's something anyway, yeah. Oh, can I get your book? I don't know, I only have a card, does that work? Okay. I don't want to break it. I might order it, it's probably online. I'll do that. Like, yeah, because I have a couple of doing the so cheers. Enjoy your rest of your night.
Encourage them to.
Never mind what you did, we're talking about you, not to you. Okay, folks. Hang on a second now, Paul Casey's decided to rudely interrupt me, which is okay, because it's Paul Casey. We've got a couple of online as we have. We'll start the open mic because I actually don't need the list because I know what happened. We had slots 2, 3 and 4 empty. The man who put his name down at number 2 is number 1 because nobody went for number 1. So John Horan is the first on the open mic.
Hi guys, it's good to be here. I don't know if I should say anything or not. Should I say something? Say something. This is my first night out. I was in hospital for a while with the psych thing, and I'm doing a lot better. And it's lovely to be in this community where people open their hearts and share a bit. And yeah, I love that. I love being a part of this. And this is a poem I wrote to myself really about 2 years ago. And it's kind of like a pep talk, but anyone could need it sometime. So I'll do it for you now. This is called On the Dreaming. Underneath the ravines, the rivulets and the streams, all is love, you know, all is love. Beneath the clouds, the thunder and the electric rain, there's a dream waiting to be born of the person that you could have been before the poison swept you away. It never really dies, that dream. It sings sad love poems to you in your sleep. It calls to you in the glimmers that break through the trance of your yesterdays. If the sun can dance on water, if mothers can birth through labor, if junkies can go one day sober, then that dream can be born new again today. And give you a whole new set of tomorrows. Believe in me now, child, one more time, or however long this takes. Take one more chance on the dreaming. It's about the only risk worth taking. I know you failed, child. Just one more time. One more time on the dreaming. Thanks.
That's a great start, John. Thanks a million. Thanks for being here. Good to see you, man. Always a pleasure to see you. Now, second up is online Jeff Cottrell.
There I am. Okay, so the one I picked, it's an oldie. This is more than 20 years old. It used to be one of my signature pieces. I performed all over the place. You can judge for yourself whether this has aged well. It's called Sally Dumps Jimmy. Jimmy, this is a gorgeous restaurant you've chosen, and you look so sharp tonight, like you always do. You always know how to show me a good time. Every time I'm with you, I swear I'm on top of the world. I feel like a princess or a queen. And when you're not around, life just doesn't seem as worthwhile. I find it very, very hard to imagine myself with anybody but you. It's just not working out. Please don't misunderstand. You're the best guy in the world, and you make me feel so special and complete every time I'm with you. But Jimmy, I just don't think it's going anywhere. I think we should both move on. I know you love me sincerely, and you would never do anything to hurt me, and you would always be loyal and kind and gentle and honest with me, but I really do think it's time to end it. Yes, I realize that we have a deep connection and that we share a lot of common interests and values, and that our dreams and goals are very similar, and that we have fantastic sexual chemistry, and that we never get tired of talking to each other, and that we have the same religious and moral and political beliefs, and that we completely respect and even admire each other's differences, and that we're so comfortable and emotionally open with each other. And that we get along great with each other's families, and that we have all the same friends, and then we make each other want to be better people, and that we'd be totally willing and eager to work on any problems we might have, and that we never have any lapses in communication, and that we both accept and love each other unconditionally without a single reservation. But Jimmy, that's just not what I'm looking for in a long-term relationship. I need more. You're keeping me from exploring other options. Jimmy, I'm sorry, but I need to find somebody who's more my type. I think I should find a man with whom I have no compatibility whatsoever. Someone who'll deceive and manipulate me with his surface charms and take my generosity wholly for granted. I need a man who'll treat me like a child and ignore my real needs and maybe even cheat on me. I think I would be much happier. And you'd be better off too, Jimmy. You need your independence. Now you're free to spend your nights masturbating yourself to sleep and you use up. I wasn't really going for subtlety here, I don't think. Masturbating yourself to sleep and to use up your evenings and weekends sitting in your apartment by yourself, watching TV, eating a lot of junk food. You need that extra time to sit in bars getting drunk and being given fake phone numbers by every woman you meet. Believe me, this is in the best interests of us both. So, Jimmy, let's call it quits. Let's not even stay friends. I believe it would be best if I just spent the rest of my life denying I ever knew you. I think I'll move to another city far away and maybe even change my name and hair color. But I'll ask one thing of you. Please, don't ever forget me. I mean it. I would be so flattered if you would carry a torch for me for a long, long time. Keep pining for me, Jimmy. Never let go. Torture yourself with regret and heartache. Let the memories of the wonderful times we shared gnaw away at your soul and crush any shred of self-love you have left. Let your sleep patterns, career, diet, and social life suffer because you miss me. If you're lucky, why, I'm sure you'll succumb to a stroke before you're 30. I know you can do it. I'll pray for you. Goodbye, Jimmy, and God bless. Thank you. Now I've given you some good advice for breakups. It's called Sally Dumps Jimmy. That's an oldie.
Thanks, Jeff. I'm not sure what you're worried about it aging. Could have been yesterday. It's not up to date. No. Carl Holden, come on, man.
How are we getting on, guys? I would like to do, it's not a first draft, but it's not the last draft either. It's a new piece. It's kind of beat. It's called catabasis, which is a word for the descent and return from the underworld. My tears run rivers of molten silver and gold to the streets of the city of God, where in my catabasis I pushed my own corpse through the gutters and sewers, tearing out hanks of my own hair and howling my own name. I stood under storm drains, gargling starlings, fevers, firecrackers and finger traps, gargoyling rivers of filth and bile, drinking altar wine by the ton, butt and hogshead. I dipped pig's feet in coal dust and once a coyote's, left the hooves of the devil in the holy of holies, while I stole from the temples and sold incense to angels, matchboxes and cigarettes, sulphur and camphor and cheap perfume. I slept in the streets of the cities of heaven, hoping to see the face of the divine in the sunrises that moved me like watchmen in the mornings. Once in my delirium, before I broke in fear of the divine and the face of God, I beheld in my cupped hands the whole holy mountain, dakinis and flowers and fountains, sublime in the city of gold. Ida Ratna Mandalakam, to the heavens we offer this treasure. City of God bothering suckers, city of slickers, city where I watch my own body floating down the river, city of lost cities, city of tough titties, sink into the bosom of the underworld beneath the lost city with me, where venom is a viper's friend, spider silk a lock of ham, in the city where the tiger pens are cheek to jowl with lions' dens, and the Minutemen no better than to prowl around the growling. Here I have felt myself harden. In this palace that all you call Babylon, I cut myself down in the garden. I cracked open the bones of my soul, hollowed their marrow and bloated, lay down in the door of my tomb where I sleep for 3 days on the hillside. I gather light and darkness, bringing method to my madness, that behind me leave the underworld aglow with all my torches, so I may come and go as do the fish in flowing waters. On the banks of the river of Dreamtime, countless ancestors pray and tell tales in the same way that they make love. My soul is a swim in the river. She has been suckling the light from the moon. I troll to the pool with my grandmother's jewels. For all of forever I'm patient. She comes to my arms before morning. My eye in her eyes reflected. My father and mother, my sisters and brothers, my friends and my lovers, I among I of all others. I see you and am seen in my seeing. We are the river of treasure. I slip us all back in the water to carry the moon for the dawn. We flow out to sea in the city. We cast from this body all foul demons, colonial structures, war, racism, greed, guilt, jealousy, shame, plastic, and those twin syphili, crypto and capital. We bring you the head of the spectre. A goddess is born from the wound. She says, children, build huts in the forest. Wade in the river of dreamtime. Play is the water of dreaming, the future indigenous ever. I see you in all of your splendor. To you, love, I offer this nectar. Ida Ratna Mandalakam. Thank you.
Thanks, Gavin. I'd watch that movie. No hassle whatsoever. Next up is Benjamin Burns.
Thank you, Stan. Before Christmas, I recorded the poet Fionn Rogan reading some haiku, his cycling haiku, and he sent me the Kwemi Dawes 100-day haiku challenge, and I looked at these various rules of the challenge and thought, this is interesting. And then a few days later I wrote a haiku and I thought, fuck it, I'll do the challenge. So I'm going to write a haiku a day for 100 days. And I've been doing that for a week, so I'm going to read 7 haiku here. Approaching, balloons stretch the window's length. The grass, hard with frost, gives way. I bite into a peppermint. The waxing moon is in the cold air. In the sunlight, I blink, sip my coffee. The bus rumbles through my spine. Drizzle through the beams of car headlights. The bare trees flash their slick branches. The black metal shriek of a black-headed gull rasp into your lip gloss. Steam rises off pink torsos. A red setter runs along the shore. Jackdaws veer upwards. A shaking crowd of ivy leaves just can't resist.
Thanks, Ben. Ben is posting them online on a daily basis if you want to follow on. I've been watching for the last few days. It's been the windscreen one is cool. Now, next up is Dean Brown. We'll have to keep the applause going. He's coming from all the way from the back of the room. Keep it going, keep it going.
It's always lovely to be here, thanks. I'm going to read a poem called The Porpoise. I'm carrying 2 glasses back to our bench in the beer garden, through the organ grinding volume, the bar inside, when you see the porpoises, nose in beyond the harbour wall, like driven cattle inclined to frisk. For that few seconds, it's impossible to believe in nanoplastics, effluvium. They plunge into mystery and leave a choppy backwash as we return to mishearing each other and others. Always found them straightforward roundabouts. Kohlrabi is like ambient cabbage. The first day of summer, salty air, your voice comes like a tree underwater, waving all its leaves. You're telling me how Thelonious Monk thought his playing a matter of making the right mistakes, till I can see the cracked leather of his brogues beneath the keys, beating time, and his goatee stroked into an exclamation point. Can hear among the gathered sessioners his impromptu on the ultrasonic clicks that are compass and communication to a porpoise. So unerring is its sonar, it can travel 30 knots an hour and brush a fluke against nothing. Nice work if you can get it, I say twice, but you don't hear. You have already gone off, joining this street-side cortege of butchered cherry blossom trunks. I've become one with what I won't see next spring. We empty the dregs of our beer into grass, and who knows but it dizzies the forest. And I'm travelling as though in a bathysphere, down among their pod, the warm blubber that gambles and gossips at a frequency beyond our hearing. Tape a porpoise and play it right down slow, Monk says. It will resemble the human voice, crying.
Thanks, Dean. We return to mishearing each other. What an observation on relationships that is. Now, next up is a woman who's mightily relieved not to be first on the list. Thrilled she was. She put herself down at number 4, thinking that's bound to get many. She's now number 6. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce her surname. Alicia.
Thank you. Thanks for not putting me first. I just don't like it. That's it. I was going to introduce this poem, and I was kind of formulating ways to present the theme, but I don't really want to, so take what you will from it. And it doesn't have a title either, so I wrote it today. I'm scared of the day you won't be here. The inevitable moment that your glow will quench for good. And with it, that warmth that has lived beneath my skin. Since the day I came to exist inside you, I germinated like a seed, unfurled like that first shoot, delivered into the cold, shocked by the breeze and chlorine, but safe in knowing you were there, as I found you tracing my ear with promises to protect me from harm, nurture as best you can, smell danger and pull the alarm. You said my name and I smiled. I'm scared of the day the sandcastle falls, dissolving back into the sea, the waves drowning out sounds of our uneven singing, clunky dances on your birthday, the intentional kiss on the cheek, the sandpaper touch of a hand on mine, evoking open talk of love, gleaning wisdom, welcome pains of change, feeling deeply and with grace. But thankfully, you are a mother, and you had the foresight to transmute something in me early on, and the ache grows smaller still, so that the itchy knot gets kinder with time. You are a mother, so you told me that sand returns to the sea. There are cycles that you taught me. You said that life is built in circles, that lines are for noses at parties, cues in Aldi and country dancing. But that Mother Nature doesn't know linear form. She swells with rounded wombs, spirals, and sounds and mounds of different sizes. Mind and soul follow the patterns on the map. So though I can't fathom the hollow grief the day will bring, I know our love got a chunk of space here. That pure chance of our fleeting encounter is enough comfort for me to walk the labyrinth with growing ease. Thank you.
Thanks, Alicia. That's a rather lovely thing that didn't need an introduction, I would suggest. Now we're just going to pause a moment there while the guest poet Lauren McNamara decides to leave the room. Another nice round of applause. We'll give you a round of applause when you're gone as well, as we always do that at the end. Tune in online on your way back to Limerick. Now, so to follow Alicia, we have our current 5 world champion, Catherine Ronan. Probably has a fleet of choir boys with her at this stage. So what's the collective? That's a good. There's a competition now. The collective noun for choir boys. I'm submissions taken between now and the end of the night. Come on, somebody can nail that for us.
Altar no.
Hostages.
Jesus. Control yourself there, woman.
As it's the first fortnight, I'm going to dedicate this to anyone who's ever suffered any sort of mental health issue, and you are strong. This message. Kintsugi love. Shattered, cracked, scarred, anointed with liquid poison, there is beauty in broken things. Drowning, helpless, breathless, courage opens the groaning box. There is beauty in broken things. Secret garden, green despair, tough ivy invades red crumbling walls. There is beauty in broken things. I am broken and beautiful, waiting for golden repair in the shape of your soft love.
Thanks, Catherine. I am broken and beautiful. Is it an altar of choir boys you said? Is that what you said?
Maybe an alteration.
an alteration class. Better again, better again. Now, next up, we have Mona Lynch.
How do you follow a winner? I'm not used to this phone business. I usually have a sheet of paper in front of me. It's coming, yeah. These are two little poems that run together. Natani. We live in different worlds, my grandson and I. He comes to taste the sea on his toes, the juice of berries, the lick of warm rain. The world he re-enters with his maternal grandmother under Shiprock Mountain, a spectacular diatribe where the sand forever shifts. She carried him in a cradle board, taught him his mother tongue, a secret code. I want to see their silver gifts crafted, embedded with turquoise gems. Join the doll dance, wrapped in a Navajo blanket. Sit in the hogan, facing the sunrise, sharing fried bread. Listen to music on the breeze, as they call his Irish name, Liam Og. Liam Og. I will meet him this Christmas for the first time. My grandson, 8 years old. His name Liam Og. His Navajo name Natani. He is not used to soft grass, rain, chestnuts, but sand, heat, and loving grandparents out in Shiprock Reservation. A sleek cheetah comes to mind. No trace of his blonde Irish father. I will show him where he played. We will explore the attic together. Find old Meccano and Lego. Walk through his father's school. The gift of time, all too short to germinate the seeds of friendship.
And that, Mona, is how you follow a winner. You be you, or to quote a very famous, maybe not famous poet, be a YouTube, you three even. Fucking hell. I do listen, but I get it wrong then. Right, so now you might be wondering where you're on the list, because the list has gone side. If you're ever MCing here for the first time, don't panic about numbers not running the way they should, because the mic list always gets fucked up. So I'm rumbling here now, because oh yeah, Clive Osman is next. Just about found this. What are you laughing at?
Okay, so yeah, for something completely different, as I always say. This is from my latest book, the rather strangely named Musical Hamsters and Much Bigger Issues.
Say that again?
Musical Hamsters and Much Bigger Issues.
Right.
Okay, so this is how to write a job reference for someone who thinks you've forgiven them.
Brilliant.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity to supply a reference for Billy, or Sweaty Bollocks as he was known in prison. Not without some justification, I'm led to believe. I met Billy in the heyday of football hooliganism. Admittedly, I was only doing a stretch for attempted murder and for playing Adam and the Ants in a public place, the sentences running concurrently. But I looked up to Billy for having the courage of his convictions in his hatred of Oxford United. Okay, he took it a bit too far, but he was young. We became friends and committed a few armed robberies together when we were released. But we never got caught as we framed the local Tory election candidate, who incidentally is due out in a couple of weeks. But I can honestly say he has turned his back on violence and did some voluntary work as treasurer of the Bowls Club until they went bankrupt. You would be lucky indeed to employ someone of Billy's quality. With what you pay, I have to think back to the days where he would only consider working for you if he was eyeing up embezzlement opportunities, to be honest. What giant strides he has made. On the hygiene front, I'm told his bollocks are no longer sweaty, but I can't be too sure about that. I am sure that provided you allow him to smoke weed on duty, he will be a loyal employee. He is intolerant of heavy-handed opposition to drug use at work, but he maintains that shrooms were not his. I hope you will give him the job, as he owes me that £5,000 I lent him to bribe the coppers, and I want it back. He is not an arsonist. Thank you.
Yeah. Best of luck with that, John. I thought that was a bit harsh on Adam at the end, I have to say. First couple of records were great. No, I have to be very careful now I introduce the next reader. Because the last time I was MC and I introduced this reader, they had a pop at me on the way up about the fact that I was using repetitive jokes. So I won't. Yeah, so this lady has a song written after. That's how I'm going to introduce her. Roxanne.
That was perfect.
There you go.
Hey, he's learning with time. That's great. New hope for new year. That's what I said. So I probably introduced this story a lot of times since I came to Avail. I'll try and make it short. I went to Mexico 19 years ago, and I had several families over there, and one grandpa that I absolutely loved. And I didn't get to see him again. And guilt broke me for 6 years, and life happens, and actually forgave myself 3 months ago. So yeah, it's great. I mean, it's actually really, it's like, we're saying life goes in circle. The very first 5-word challenge that I wrote here when I came was about this grandpa. Avail is coming to an end. I've forgiven myself, and I'm writing about this grandpa. There we go. It took a visit in a cemetery, a flood of memories, an avalanche of love, and a lightning moment of, that's how it will be. You, me, a stone, your stone, my hand on it, and more love. I couldn't go back, that's a fact, simple as this. Will it be pouring rain when I get to see you, to drain tears of gratitude, or radiant sun, to bring the blonde back in my hair, and remind me of past sunburnt? Now that it left, I can't remember why I felt guilty. So guilty enough not holding you back, not holding you in my arms again. You warm me at all times. I can feel you in my steps in the street, in brushing my hair, in each of these songs from your beautiful language. I stand taller, smiling again. I look beyond the borders, the sea, the ocean, the desert. No pounding in the chest anymore, a sparkle in the eye, kindness, warmth, and love. I'll go back to see you once I manage to get this passport renewed.
Thanks, Roxanne, for the poem and for the approval of the introduction. I didn't really need it, but thanks ever so much. Elaine Harrington is next. Was that introduction okay, Elaine? I'm going to have to keep checking in now.
Okay. Yeah. So I went on a retreat a few years ago, and I was blown away by this guy who told to a crowd of maybe 200 people the story of the abuse that he suffered at the hands of his dad. And yeah, so I wrote a poem about it, and he also talked about his recovery and the reconciliation with his dad. So it was really beautiful. And at the very end then he spoke about how now that his own I suppose the inner child is healed, how he loves to go and spend time just watching children in playgrounds and parks. So the poem is in 2 parts, and it's called He Sits. He sits, eyes fixed, and with steely strength he tells his story. There is no glory, no one to impress, just a story of courage and survival that he dares to share. A beacon of hope, a shining light for those still adrift in their own fight. A battered body taken from the rocks, alive and breathing once more. No hint of shame, he knows he did nothing wrong, but yet you can see the child still trying to make sense of that which he endured by him that he loved the most. Another soul lost. He took his rage and wrote on the same page in dark ink that is difficult to erase in what should have been carefree days. But how beautifully we hear that peace can trickle down when from our heart we remove the locks and meet that person with our opening heart. He sits, eyes wide, and with an ease of mind, he watches them, the children as they play, all loose and free and light and love, magic, giggles, messing and fun. Now awake again, he is one of them. A bad dream had just startled him. Now holding gently his own hand, he's ready again to play. His gentle spirit leads the way. Thank you.
Thanks, Elaine. Listening to that, even in the introduction, reminded me of when you are unwell, or when I was unwell, how listening to other people's story, even a small snippet of somebody's story, can give you a little bit of hope and a little bit of resilience, and maybe a little bit of patience, things you don't think you have when you're that unwell in your head. No, so thank you, Elaine, for that. Now, next up, we have Mr. Stephen James Smith.
How's it going? So this is I don't know if this is a poem or a song, because it's a bit more like lyrics potentially, because I release it as a song on the 1st of January. So if you don't like it, go and listen to the song, because it's way better. And if you do like it, definitely listen to the song, because it's even better again. And it's kind of about me moving from Dubliner, but I now live in Wexford for the past 4 years, and about that transition. So here we go. And fair play to you, Stan. You tread a fine line, don't you? I'm surprised you don't got the clip around the ear more often.
Don't be telling them that, Steve.
Anyway, here we go. These are just a little bit of context as well. These are the names of some of the boats that are moored along the quayside in Wexford. Somebody thought they were names of industrial estates, and it's not that. Anyway, you'll walk past Hibernia, Branwen, Enterprise. Now you're moored here with all that rise. You'll move here alone in the middle of a pandemic and come to understand the term Dublin-centric. You'll say Walsh, not Welsh, and faith, not fag. Being outed by your accent is an obvious prologue. You'll learn how big your presence is and want to hide. You'll put a brave face on and say you never cried. You'll almost speak to the bullring preacher, and this'll teach you how a small town is a strange creature. You'll say small town, not because you're from the big smoke, but because you travel beyond and know Dublin's just a joke. Daily, you'll walk past Cecilia, Nordster, Enterprise. Now you're tethered here with all that rise. We'll all rise until we don't. We'll all want until we won't. We'll all compromise in one way or another. We can all live here because of each other. We'll all rise. We'll all rise. We'll all rise. And that's the bit when my friend sings in the track. It's way better, but I'll quit out the chorus for the other bits. But anyway, you'll buy a bird feeder and fat balls from Bed's Bits. You'll watch the robins eat your loneliness as you clean up foul shits. You'll worry about doing too much too soon. You'll cross the bridge late at night pursued by a full moon. You'll fall for Phil from the tidy towns with all those black sacks, being heartened by her will to help despite the sore back. You'll go home, not sure of where home is anymore. You'll watch the documentary North Circular and know what it is to be in limbo. You'll share word for whisper stories about blow-ins with the cursed Murphy. It's funny, it's sad, it's satire, it's death by 1,000 cuts, and it's a true story. Daily. You'll walk past Leah Marie, Edith Kuhn's Enterprise. Now you're fixed here with all that rise. I'll skip the chorus. You'll think of Dennis, gone for coffee, and Maggie, always singing. There'll be screeching trains, squashing pennies, and chance level cross meetings. You'll grow basil and lavender in a smart garden, pretending these are great acorns. You'll reap what you sow and be thankful when Aldi on Trinity Street reopens. You'll discover the neighbours upstairs have conceived since you moved below, and a new Malaysian, Lithuanian, yellow belly family has been born. You'll find a syringe by your car tyre and there's a fire in the alleyway, but this is your home now despite it all. There's no walking away. You'll recognise faces, forget names, and feel let down by friends who don't visit. Maybe you'll turn the spare room into an office space. Sure, who'd miss it? Daily. You'll walk past Laura Ann Last Chance Enterprise. Now you're anchored here with all that rise. You'll think an outsider is good for any scene while worrying about stepping on toes. You'll realise we're not here, it's not now, we're all ancients, all echoes. You'll hear aphorisms like the rising tide lifts all boats at the same time, knowing some think only riches float. You'll get a leak in your hallway ignored by the management company, but it's the mould that grew when you're gifted St. Bridget's Cross because of it that really angers me. You'll drop homemade soup to your new French neighbour at the meet and greet. She'll show you her stained glass arts. You mention the Harry Clark in Bride Street. You're out of sight, out of mind, forming new connections for the ones you left behind. It's an economic exile, it's an unfair description, it's a chance to be redefined. Daily. You walk past Branding, Boyd Joshbert, Edenvale, Enterprise. Now you peer into the future with all that rise. We'll all rise until we don't. We'll all want until we won't. We'll all compromise in one way or another. We can all live here because of each other. We'll all rise. We'll all rise. We'll all rise.
Thanks, Stephen. And for those of you who have never MC'd or Ovale and may be asked to MC in the future, please be aware that people will come up and have a pop at you for reasons best known to them, especially people down from Dublin as guests, and they can't help themselves. They just do it. Just so as you know, for future reference. Thanks, Stephen. Appreciate it. Patricia Walsh is next.
This is what anybody who's been in secondary school, cigarettes were the epitome of cool. Sorry now. Cigarette burns. Following the holy to the back of the gym. This light's fantastic. Maturity becomes coldly ascertaining what is some way sacred. The song collectively quality shots. Made feel mighty real, the stench designer. Addiction not a problem, just a momentous glitch. Spare the donkey walk, go for a smoke. Or always have a light in hand, pure for love. There's trifle billion, while following a suit. Beer nuns to garner support for anarchy. To lighten rubbish, a role designed to choke on your collective, expelled as associates. Clean from an excellent rebellion, not a permanent marker, as if it ever was. You have to burn one repeatedly, it sinks your boat. A closet addiction will murder for more. What to do with these hands, lips, mouth, if not to resurrect a quitter's paradise? Enjoying reverse psychological glories, love by his betters, finally come home. Murder by stealth, an eventual massacre, simple gross manifest themselves adroit. I burn cigarettes, untimely jingle, death by the advertisements slowly abides.
Thanks, Patricia. Isn't it amazing how the world changed? When I was in secondary school, they were selling single cigarettes out of 10 boxes of majors to kids at 13 years of age, and everyone thought it was okay, including our parents. Anyway, say la vie. Luke O'Rourke.
Today I held my love as she buckled in hopeless tears. Torso quivering earthquakes, gasping, choking, shivering, and then limp, ghostly limp in the stillness of completely rational dread. Until today, I cast out any feelings but anger for the fire it lights. They're thousands of miles away. What purpose could sadness serve? What does it ever serve? I asked myself rhetorically. Until this wise, wailing ghost of a woman, like a witch, had brought them here, into this room. Brought the mothers, brought the children, brought the fear. Floodgates opened. Heart chambers, burning and barricaded, burst open, gushing oceans of blood, like heart chambers should. If love were an element, would it not be water? Nourishing, moving, soothing, and holding the fire, even when bubbling inside, throwing its arms open bravely over the fire, holding on, spitting, shaking, quivering, evaporating, but still holding on to the blazing flames as love till the end, by any wild, wailing means, so as not to allow our chambers, connected deep within, our warm oceans of blood, to be cut off and left barricaded and burning.
Thanks, Luke. That's pretty cool. Now we're going to a different time zone. Pam Campbell online.
Okay, this I dedicate to my father. And sometimes we are gifted in hard times from those that have left us. Daddy's dress shirt, Thursday, September 18th, 9:00 a.m. Deep in my daddy's closet, my cell vibrates, my jeans back pocket. I answer, "Hey, Tim. Hey, Pam. We need to dress your father today. I can't find his new shirt. Maybe he wore it. No, he was saving it. Got one here he can use. No, I'll bring another. Buy two. Okay. 2 p.m. Inside the home that is not a home, but a house made to look like one, I hug Daddy's clothes like they are him. I surrender a new cotton t-shirt and briefs, a fresh laundered starched dress shirt, a tie that once teased out undertones of gray-blue eyes, a pair of slate gray wool pants, a 1.5-inch mahogany leather belt, a silk sport jacket patterned subtle pink and lavender rose, a pair of white socks, elastic, loosened at the top, and size 13 AA dress black tennis shoes. Tim says, we don't need the socks and shoes. A piece of me breaks deep inside. Friday, September 19th, 10 a.m. I slip from outside fall tinted air to inside heady funeral scent, stargazer lilies and myrrh of roses. I take a hard left at a sofa that does not invite, and without knocking, interrupt family business. Tim, long blue jean legs stretched across desktop, talks computers with his daddy, who's stiff and straight in his black suit. I found it, I say. Found what? Tim says. I hold out the cellophane wrapped white shirt. He's already dressed. I don't mean to make more work for you. I'll do it. We can't disturb the body once dressed. Why not? Bobby, Denier, who collected my dad from his last breathing place, steps through the doorway and saves us all. I'll take her to her daddy, Tim. 10:05 a.m. Bobby drags a chair close and says, visit your daddy as long as you like. Only he's not my daddy anymore. His spirit that filled and colored his 6-foot frame, that voiced stories and songs, that created legendary pranks, that engaged in a determined foot race with death, left a few days ago. I crinkle the cellophane. I found your shirt, Daddy. And my daddy answers the way spirits still hovering do. And I did, as Daddy would do. 10:15 a.m. Back to the funeral home office I go, poke my head in and say, see you tonight, Tim. Oh, by the way, I got that shirt on him. Tim's daddy lets loose a stack of printed papers everywhere. Tim unfolds legs from desk and hits the floor running, saying a word that wasn't fudge, wasn't duck, but a combination of the two, with me close behind, cellophane wrapped dress shirt clutched behind my back. Daddy laughs in me.
Thanks, Pam, and we look forward to seeing you right here in this room next month. Safe journey over. Now it's 26 minutes past 11. We still have 11 people to go, so I'm going to be really brief between poets from now on. Next up is Cedric.
So it's a work in progress, and I wrote that tonight in reflection of mental health and the way I try to look at myself sometimes, and the road that I've gone, that I've walked all the way to until today, essentially. And today the exercise is looking at myself like a building, a castle, to be more specific. It's a work in progress, so it doesn't have a title yet. Sunsets, always, every day, for everyone. The colors, they vary with the clouds and the weather. The landscapes change how we see it too. It depends how grounded we choose to be. Sometimes we lose track of our lives, and for some, it's night already. I know how mine will look like from a dream. A ruined castle of a hill, blackened like soot in front of the amber light. Finally, a fire that did not ruin it. In fact, it makes it beautiful before the lack of contrast swallows it. I want to see it one last time from outside. I want to remember it when it was built one stone at a time. The room where decided, the wall set. I want to walk through it again and let the place talk in my mind. Make the library tell me about the books of which stories I'm about to forget. Stone walls, stone in the walls, radiating from all the place. Glimmer of the echoes of past joys, running steps of failed projects, countless ideas. The stinky air of guilt, disappointment, cleared by opening the windows to the word. The outside can be stinky too. These stones have glowed red. The mismanaged fire of anger will work a young mind like nothing else. I've seen others disappear. The beam combusted, turned to ashes, letting the rocks support themselves, which they won't do because of the scorching heat. I've rebuilt the castle after the numerous arsons, only to realize my haste twisted the walls, blindly reset through the smoking anxieties that linger way after the fire has been subdued back to its rightful vindictive place. Yes, the roof has collapsed. What growth goes after the rain, though? The fen take their quarters. The moss covers the scars and the shards of burst rock, weapons for the ghost of lesson learned. Despite them leaving their skeleton behind, I never found funny bones. The fungi were delicious, though. But it's soon over. The sun sets. And I see that I lived in my own backyard, between the walls of my roofless self. It was a beautiful castle. I wish the youngs would find it at dawn.
Lovely, Cedric. Thank you very much. Barbara Shorten, is it? Or Shorten? Barbara?
Oh, sorry, different Barbaras. Okay.
Is it? Okay. Jesus, it's great, isn't it? It's 3 good ones tonight.
Thank you. Okay, so this poem was written. It turned out to be the language I needed to heal. I don't know if anybody's ever felt scapegoated or experienced what it feels like when other people are jealous and not realizing, being unconscious to it. So I wanted to go beyond surviving it, how to stand up, how to be visible, etc. I hope it needed a preamble. So this poem, which I never read to anybody, I read it to one person, but it gave me the language to be visible to myself. I just felt calm after it. I just said, yeah, this is the way. It moved out of people pleasing or being angry. So here it goes. Sovereignty born. No, I am not you. And you are not me. Never have been and never can be. I am me. Always have been, always will be. Never have you looked at me and been me. Last, fast, faded triumph of lost victories. Never had, always lost again, because not true. How can this dare to cause such shallow metal dross? I will not have it. Chaos's reign stoops so low, confiding in mire's sticky wear. I repeat, you will not have it. I hand you back your stake. Have it. Alone in that mired mess, I can no longer tarry this oh so lonesome road. Go home. Turn around, look again. I am your sister's brother's kin. I do not fill idle space for the lost, forgotten one I can never become. I have my own space in time and place, some of which you never knew. Your place awaits, as mine does too. I welcome home that boundless maid of metal true, lost for so long, not found, until I came back for you. You cannot have what I own. You cannot be who I am. You cannot take what is mine. Find your own way as I find mine, honour bound. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara. It's amazing how a piece of writing or a poem can clear things out for us, isn't it? Now, online we're going to Paul Donegan. Hello, Paul.
Hi, hello. Yeah, the background to this poem is really a restored cottage called Bridge Cottage at Flatford in Suffolk, beside the River Stour in England. A lady called Emmeline Clark is recorded as living there in 1881 with her mill worker husband and their 12 children. And then in later life, she was widowed. And the second stanza just mentions the landscape painter, John Constable, who grew up in this area and painted its river valleys throughout his life. Bridge Cottage, Flatford. Emmeline crossed this threshold for the last time and left behind the cries and smiles of her kids, and left behind her husband's arms around her at night, but still always in her memory, as she was helped onto the cart for her son's house. John Constable said his life changed forever at the moment his wife's hand went limp in his as he sat at her bedside, dying young with young children. He painted Hadley Castle after, with its black ruin and thunderous overflowing clouds. On my mother's 80th, all her family came together here to cut her birthday cake and walk beside her down to Willie Lott's house. And in the photo, her hand is threaded through my arm, the son that looked after her to the end. Thank you.
Thanks a million, Paul. Appreciate that. Hopefully I get this pronunciation correct. Amasha Costa. Did I get it right?
Yeah. Thank you. I'm a very small woman. So a bit of context to this poem. I'm known as the girl who smokes outside her house on Barrack Street to many people, and I've met several people on several occasions outside who are like, "You're that girl in our bathrobe outside her gap smoking those rollies."
I know where you're coming from.
There you go. And it's gotten to the point now where my professors from college know that they can find me outside my gaff smoking rollies. They don't need my email, they don't need my number. They know if they need to tell me something, they can find me there. And yeah, it happened to me this week, and I was just like, "Hi, how are you?" In the state of all things, you know. So this poem's about that, and it's written in your perspective, in people who see me. So yeah. Picture this. You're walking to work at around 7 a.m. The air is muggy, the clouds are forming, and out of the corner of your eye, you see a rather small woman stood outside her house at the bottom of Barrack Street, smoking her morning cigarette. Her hair is wild, curly bed hair, no coffee in hand, no glasses on, barely awake, craving her first cigarette of the morning. She's wearing a bright blue and black dressing gown without a care of the world, and of course, her green fluffy slippers. You see her every day doing the same thing, sometimes stood outside her door to hide away from the rain, sometimes walking in circles, sometimes sat on the electrical box that clearly says danger, may hurt to kill, while she smokes a cigarette that brings a slow death. Outside of that, when you don't see her, you wonder who she may be, a hungover 4'11" woman you see some Sunday mornings petting all the dogs that walk on her street. Maybe she's staring at drivers who keep beeping at other motorists trying to navigate a two-way street that clearly needs to become a one-way street. Maybe she's looking into the restaurant across her, people enjoying their meals as she keeps accidentally making direct, unintentional eye contact. Maybe she's wanting to listen to some of the trad music that plays in the evenings at Osho's, the fiddle travelling down the street. Maybe she's talking to her neighbour down the street, who owns a lurcher and previously owned a small black diabetic dog who died. You need to give up smoking, Mary would say. You'd imagine she'd say. Maybe she's keeping up with local gossip of the area, Caroline across the street giving out once again about the pub across from her and the students getting sick outside her front door. You imagine you know it's a bad day for Caroline when she gets the power washer out. You imagine she's checking in with her elderly neighbour Andrew, a retired musician with Parkinson's, who always leaves his home an hour and a half before Mass starts because it takes him that long to go to church. You imagine she must get harassed by men any time she goes out for a cigarette in the dark evening. You imagine she gets water gun called slurs, catcalled, beeped at, men trying to kiss her hand without permission. You do not see her for 2 months. You wonder where she went. No longer was she there at her usual 7 in the morning, and you stare up to the building and wonder which floor she might be on. 2 months go by and you see her again on a crisp autumn morning, smoking her cigarette, her hair still tangled, still no glasses on. She still has her green fluffy slippers, and you remark they have lasted a long time, but she has no bathrobe on. You hope that you at some point might run into her in town, actually walk up and talk to her, but she's always gone back inside before you get the chance, or she always has her headphones on. At least you know she's still around. She will be your familiar stranger for the next little while, until she stops coming outside for her cigarettes. Thank you.
Thanks, Amisha. I feel like I know all your neighbours at this stage. Thank you very much indeed. Now, Adiola, online.
Hello. Yeah, it's cool to be in the presence of you all. First fortnight I came across them a couple of years ago at an event that my friends were performing at, and just kind of followed along. And Avail, you know, when I lived in Cork, it was like one of those things where, almost like therapy session, I think poetry is therapeutic. Before I go into this poem, I will introduce it because it's talking about a specific type of heartbreak surrounding child loss. 2 years ago, I was diagnosed with a rare blood disorder, and I was in a coma for 10 days at the time and ended up being in hospital for several weeks. It was really difficult, and my mental health was on a roller coaster. And when you're told you're like of the 10% of people who survive a crisis like that, you start to make crazy decisions in your life. And I did make a few decisions that led to specific type of consequences. And before I knew it, I was pregnant, and I decided I was going to go ahead and keep the baby, despite everything going on and despite the wonky relationship. And then the relationship started to get more stressful when I got pregnant, because I started having mood swings, or as I would call them, truth swings. Everything in my life, I was looking at it from a different lens, that of someone who's going to bring a child into the mess that I believe I created at the time. So this poem is talking about how 5 months into pregnancy, second trimester, I had a miscarriage, which ended up with me being in hospital again, by myself, again, delivering my dead baby alone again. And that was a whole mental health, I don't know what to call it. But as a result of that, I flipped my life upside down completely. And I'm going to talk about why here. Okay. My life and my heart broke completely. But in the process of breaking, it revealed something so profound and beautiful, utterly divine. I may not have my baby in physical, but I know the day I delivered him, I became a mother. Actually, before then, the moment I heard his heart, I saw him wiggle on the screen during a scan, I felt him moving, my energy changed, everything changed, right down to my DNA. I think about my baby daily. I get flashes of his cute face in my mind from time to time. It used to be disturbing and distressing, his cute face. But now it's actually comforting and helps me to lean into what I truly desire and take steps I'd usually hesitate to take out of thinking that I don't deserve it, or perhaps a bit of fear. Every decision I make these days comes with better understanding of responsibility and of the love of what I believe a healthy mother would have. But I guess in some ways, I'm mothering myself in the process of clawing through my grief. I'm seeking those who can offer guidance and truth in ways I was afraid of confronting before. The worst has happened. I can only get better. I can only do better, know better, and be better, choose better, desire better, and accept better. Thank you.
Thank you, Adiola. That was a little bit uncomfortable to listen to, but I think mental health things are about that, being a little bit uncomfortable listening to other people's challenging stories. And thank you so much for sharing it. And I hope you're okay. And I hope you're well having read that, because I know from experience reading stuff that's personal can be a little bit unsettling as well. But thank you so much.
Thank you. It's exhilarating to read it, I will say.
Good for you.
And I'm glad it was uncomfortable, because life is uncomfortable sometimes.
Yeah, I agree with you.
But we move, we continue.
Now, Carl B. When I looked at that first, I read it as Cardi B, and I was thinking, wow.
That's my stage persona.
Oh, hey! Good answer.
This is just a short poem, so I'll give a little preface. I was in a relationship for like 3.5 years, but I really struggled with self-confidence. So this poem is about feeling inadequate in yourself, but being a positive for someone else. You look at me with lustful eyes, on my face a veiled disguise, project on me a fabled character, of uncontested size and stature, unbreakable, unbeatable, simply undefeatable. Thank you.
Thanks, Cardi. Appreciate it. Tell you one thing, I'm 59 years of age, man. I love watching people of your age reading and talking about that kind of stuff, because I fucking tell you, when I was as young as you, which is a long time ago, it wasn't fucking happening, and it's great. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Kieran Shanahan. Is it Shanahan? Have I got it right? Yeah. It is Shanahan, yeah?
Yeah?
Yeah. I always think it's something else, I don't know why.
It's Verlee, it's phonetically.
I know, and I know people. Relax. See what I mean about being the MC? It gets complicated.
Well, I wrote this 15 minutes before I left the house for here. And it's kind of based on memory, except the driving part, because I didn't drive when I was 6. It took a few more lessons and a lot more cash to do that. So yeah. The fox that crossed the road crossed with some otherworldly pride, as the fox had managed to secure, somehow, somewhere, 6 pristine sausages all linked together. 6 linked sausages. 6 linked sausages all for himself. The calmness of the fox as he stopped mid-road and gazed onto my soul. No fear, just calm as eyes reflect the shining headlights. For this was no ordinary fox. For this was a fox that was on cloud 9. For what would the fox's family say when the fox returns? Would they be judgy at the brand of the sausages? Or would they just savour in this victory, share the joy of this operation of hope and skill? For I'm parked up, dead of night, on a lonely country road, pale pink, grounded encasing, that will forever shine in the moonlight. For moments of grandeur and joy will forever be, in the phrase, as lucky as a fox with a link of sausages in its gall. Thank you.
Thanks, Kieran. Of course they're going to be judgy about the sausage. Of course they are. It's like coming home with non-Barry's tea. You're in deep shit. Alexandra? Oh, yeah. Keep it going. She's coming from behind the bar. It's a long old journey. Keep it going. Keep it going. Keep it going. Get her all the way up here. Yay!
Sorry, I half fell asleep. Sorry. The past month I haven't really been kind of in the best place. I don't really know how to explain it. I just wasn't really feeling the best, and I wasn't really motivated to write any poems. So when I was coming into work with the 2:20 bus, I was there thinking about how odd it is that like I wouldn't be reading today because I'm so used to doing that every single month. So I started thinking that like what if there's like a poem in my notes that like I haven't read yet, and I found this poem that I wrote about a year ago, so last year April, nearly a year ago, and I never actually read that poem out loud here because even when I was writing this poem I felt kind of guilt and shame in a way because of what it was about. So it might not seem like a big thing, but this poem was about me having feelings for someone that I shouldn't have had feelings for because they were taken, basically. So it might not seem like a big thing, but I felt very kind of guilty for even writing this poem back then. So this poem is called Forgive Me, Eidos. I don't know how to pronounce this because different websites said different pronunciations. I tried to figure it out, but I couldn't. And she was the Greek goddess of shame, modesty, and respect. So this is the poem. How did this happen? I want to say I'm confused of the events, but I'm not. These events added up like a jigsaw puzzle. Each piece, each memory, building on my guilty feelings. This is wrong, pure guilt. How did this happen? I want to say I don't feel the way I do, that my mind is just assuming things out of hopelessness. But I'm no blind. I see it all, hear it all, feel it all. All the ways you seek for my attention, all the ways you try to fight back those icy lingering eyes, all the ways you compliment me, and lastly, all the ways you have calmed my hurricane of emotions with just a look and your peaceful presence. This is wrong, pure madness, but the sweetness of it is addictive. How did this happen? I want to say that my mind is just creating its own fantasy as a way of healing from a past betrayal, but I'd be lying to myself. I must be truthful to my heart and soul. I will finally admit it, that I am utterly and deeply consumed by this mysterious but intense connection. It scares me, meddling in what should not be happening. Morally, this is wrong, but at the same time, it doesn't feel wrong. It feels right to me. For I wish he could be mine, but he is not. Forgive me, Eidos, for I hold this shame, but my deepest sin, I am shameless. Thank you.
I kind of love that, I have to say. And it's, you know, I'm always interested because I would have done that in the past. It may seem like a small thing. It doesn't matter what it feels like to us. It's what it feels like to you, what it does to you. Well done. It was really cool. Sue Blue, with your brand new Fire and Dust T-shirt. Come on. Jeanann, is the T-shirt not getting a round of applause? I mean, come on, the fuck.
Stan made that. Stan made that.
And explain all of it.
It's about a decade of being at Coventry, the exchange with Coventry going on, and so yeah, I wear it because I was in Coventry as well. I'm just gonna do. I want to do a new poem, but I also want to contribute to the topic. So a haiku first. Today, I weigh tons, dragged down by my heavy heart, a tomb with no rest. Okay. Now, this one is in new download, and I don't have many downloads these days, so I'm very happy. I was in Carrigaline, as in I was at the beach, and then I passed back through Carrigaline, and I passed this place, and the thoughts ran. So here we go. Noblewood. We pride ourselves in brown rings around each tree, yellowed edges along the grass lines, wilting wildflowers in the meadows. We kill dandelion, clover, St. John's, the weeds that feed the bees, just so everything looks neat where people tread with soulless feet. When another tree falls young, with poison from its roots, we come to take it down and plant new saplings that we kill again. A bargain for the council, who don't mind the mindless spending, the spreading of destruction, and you won't even know. When dogs that sniff their way around the trees in the estates disease, tumours on the hind, we grieve, but not for humans. We're noble, and you're in the woods, thinking you're above nature. When the cancer gets you, we will plant the flowers on your grave. Yellowed edges keep it neat, brown rings around each tree, ensure your century too will fall before it grew. The council keeps the contract, we work the perfect field. Noblewood, we pride ourselves in slowly poisoning your world.
Great last line, excellent. Now, second last, Kieran McCann.
Penultimate.
I couldn't think of the word penultimate, to be honest.
Sounds getting a harsh criticism tonight, so I just keep my words short. But no, just to say what a pleasure it's been to hear you all tonight, and just to give a big ups to First Fortnight Festival. It's a really great festival, and like more power to you, and it's really, really important. I remember a couple of years ago we put on a show in the Kino as part of the First Fortnight, and they were very, very supportive, they were very, very sound. And we actually dedicated that show to Paul Kern, who's a huge loss to this community, and it's I suppose the festival investing in works being made around the topic of mental health is a really good thing, and fair play. I'm just going to, this poem is called The Storms of Teacups. Though I try verify the input all the day and night, still my eyes deceive me. The cupping of my ears does nothing to improve what is heard. The wisdom of the ages is laughed at by the scree. Justice's scales useless on the broken ground, cracking and quaking a ceaseless tremble. This space filled with noise, arguments about fictions, passion spent to convince the other of the inherent merit of the lesser of two lies, bringing wind vanes, thermometers, the Beaufort scale, to assess the storms of teacups, sweating to climb a ladder that leads to a ledge, with another ladder that leads to a ledge, with another ladder that leaves you halfway up the wall, sweating to climb back down, to announce the findings of your long journey, to teach others how to climb. Thank you.
Thanks, Kieran. That show and the keynote's given us lots of mileage with remembrance and memories, and we've great fun. Well, I wasn't involved, I was just watching, it was brilliant. It was great fun. Even the parts that weren't planned, Kieran, remember? Right, we're at the final reader. What's the fancy word for final reader? Oh, no, that's not fucking, that's not. Fuck off. I might not have been able to remember the word penultimate, but I'm not swallowing that shit. The final reader of the night, we're going to another time zone. Massimo. Ultimate.
Hey, peace and love. Always honored to be here. Somebody must have been praying for me. Somehow a bed I never made was laid for me. Somebody must have paved a way for me as I find myself partway through a familiarly strange journey. Somebody must have set the stage for me as I find different ways of playing out the same story. Who paid the price that I might afford to be? Before my mother and my father, there's no other form I see. So with every breath I retrace my steps and scratch the surface of my facade just to face its depths. If my lifetime were an asset to recollect and asked to account where it went, I'd be spent. Just to slow the entropy of memories, I reminisce and recreate and fill in where I find them empty. The details of one's life are so plenty that to recall the details of one life would take many. Could it be my lifetime is longer than its length in time and bends beyond its lines to intersect and intertwine? What if no thing were left unturned and anything undiscovered is uncovered in another turn? Could it be that I was made with no mistake and even my mistakes were all made for the world's sake? How much of my own world did I make? And how did one thing become two and not break? And when I go to sleep, will you still be awake? Or when I go, will you be in the world that I take? Sometimes we're so real that we seem fake, but I know I'm real, not just because I feel, because I ache. Remembering oneself is time travel, if the human mind is wound to rewind and unravel. It recalls what's lost and what's astray, it regathers. Because in a world of black and white, to our gray matter, gray matters. The stories of my memory may seem so well rehearsed, but before I learned how to tell them well, I felt them first. Before I could help myself, someone had to help me first. So why am I afraid I'll die alone if I was held at birth? Immersed in the self, I seek all. But immersed in the all, it is first for the self I call. Then I saw my wish to be selfless was a selfish call. If it took the help of others, just to be myself at all. Thank you so much. Peace and love.
Thanks, Massimo. I said you were the ultimate reader, but we're going to listen now. It's a squad game. We're going to the depths of the squad, all the way from Waterford. Special appearance to bring the night to a rousing end. It's Nicholas Lehan.
Thanks. It's past my bedtime. I thought I told you, but what about it? It's past my bedtime now, so I don't know what I can do. But good to be here. It's my first time here, so.
That's not true. Tell the truth.
Sorry, well, I was here a few years ago for a few minutes, and I just kind of came in halfway through and was very busy, and I wasn't in the mood for it, so I left, kind of thing. But this is my first time properly here, shall we say? I'm a performance poet, and this is a poem with the love of my life, and see, no woman would have me, so there's actually but a forward focus. So as Stan knows, I love inanimate objects, so this is me speaking to a forward focus. Brace yourselves. I remember when I first saw you, shining in perfect condition. I sat inside smiling and put the key in the ignition. You were shy at first, I was heavy on the clutch. Now the handbrake is down, you softened to my touch. We've had some great days gallivanting, you and I, our relationship blossoming, expanding under the clear blue sky. You've taken me to butchers and bakers to prepare for feasts. We've navigated floods, roadworks and winds from the east. We've taken scary selfies at the cliffs of Moher over the foamy sea. You said nothing, looked the other way when I wouldn't pay the fee. You've always been available, eager to please when people needed spins or just to pick up a litre of milk or Mr. Freeze down at Quinn's. And I will never forget our journey to Donegal to see our friends exchange vows. You were so patient, so relaxed behind those Frisian cows. There was challenges along the way. There always are hospital visits and burials you set in the tear-soaked there. We have veered off track, gotten lost, and you have driven me around the bend. And at times I behaved in ways I can no longer defend. 6 penalty points for speeding, not one of my finer achievements. We've cursed and screeched through bitter disagreements. Some of our behaviour could be classified as shady, and let's never mention hitting that lollipop lady. She's okay now. Oh well. I have been furious. I have walked out the door and I have called you a bitch. And how did we survive when we were sideways on that ditch? My dad helped me. All true, by the way. But remember when we passed the NCT and stopped at Amber for a cup of tea? You and me, babe, were destiny. I was in the dark. I was directionless. I couldn't see the light. You came on the scene like a flash and you lit up the night. We have evolved together and moved through the gears. Had people come inside to share their joy, sorrow, hopes and fears. Remember that hitchhiker from down under? We both know I should have got her number. Oh well. And how about that French lad prophesizing the end of civilization, saying that you and I are a part of the equation? But how can someone so gentle as you be affecting the weather? But don't worry, your successors will be better. Almost there. I write this for you because I realise you've been taken for granted. But now when I look at you, I am nothing but enchanted. To all my life you have borne witness. The wardrobe changes, the interviews, the cheeky kisses. You've taken me to cities, mountains and out among the stars. You've collected drunken fools at late night bars. You've been to airports to collect the lads from Dubai. You fulfilled every task and didn't ask why. You've cured hangovers with sausages and chicken rolls, driven over ice, mud and lots of potholes. You brought me fishing for salmon, mackerel and bass. You sat in quiet reflection while I was at mass. You brought the kids on the morning school runs. You brought us biscuits, chocolate and fresh creamy buns. You've been there in all the times that were tragic. You've been there in all the times that were magic. You've been all the way to an All-Ireland final. You've been crucial to my very survival. I love you, and I will cherish you until the end. My Ford Focus, my silver friend.
Thanks, Nicholas. Paul Casey has asked me to announce that to the best knowledge, the best of A's knowledge, no lollipop ladies were hurt during the writing of that poem. We're lollipop lady friendly here. Now, we're at the end of the night. Thanks, Nicholas. You'll have to come back again and do the old kettle poem for us, Brian. There's no two ways about it. So, big thank you to all of you being here. Thank you for having me. It's done by my fucking mental health and my soul, the world of good. Can we have one final round of applause for our guest host, Jeanann, who's in another country? Thank you very much for being here. And for Lauren, who's probably in another county at this stage because she's on the way home to Limerick. Thanks a million. We'll see you in a month for the 707, 5, whatever it fucking is. It's a big number. Thanks a million. Good night. Take care. Oh, you did too? Jesus.
You made me undress myself in front of the whole crowd.
Yeah, I saw you. I saw the huge resistance.
It's a bit of revelation.